Chapter 101, King Pikachu. Superstone Lottery opens. Mr. Yuanji's ship had already set sail. Along the way, he dropped Ash and the others off on Weld's Island, a place with a primeval natural ecosystem. On the island's beach, Ash and Xiaoyao began special training. Xiaoyao was preparing for the upcoming Plugga conference, and her partner for it was naturally Bulbasaur. She was teaching Bulbasaur a new move, Petal Dance. Ash released all his Pokémon and laid out tailored training regimens for each of them. Sceptile practiced a new technique it had learned after evolving. Bagon was strapped into a stamina training rig. Milotic swam in the ocean for special conditioning and to learn Aqua Ring. Combuskin, Marshtomp, and Curlia trained together as a trio. Vigoroth was given a Farmer's 3 Punches set and was practicing the routine diligently. Eevee here, take this Water Stone. Ash produced a top-grade Water Stone. Eevee bounded over, joyfully touched the stone, and immediately absorbed it. For a brief instant, the shadow of a Vaporeon flickered at its side. Strength, Lively Bubble, launches a ball of water at the opponent and restores half of the damage dealt as HP. Eevee's next task was to get used to its rapidly increasing power and to master its new move, Lively Bubble. At the same time, Ash had Pidgeot and Pikachu facing off. Ash decided today would be Pikachu's breakthrough to Elite, and Pidgeot was the best sparring partner for that test. Pikachu, here, eat this candy. Ash handed Pikachu an intermediate rare candy. Pikachu took it happily and popped it into its mouth. A little sweet. A surge of energy exploded from Pikachu. It broke through the bottleneck and reached Elite rank. Because it had just transformed, Pikachu didn't fully control the surge. An Elite aura radiated out and immediately drew the attention of Xiao Gang and the others. "What's going on?" they asked. "Pika!" Pikachu leapt into Ash's arms, surprised. Ash hugged it and rubbed his cheek against the little Pokémon. This was his first Elite Pokémon. "That's awesome, Pikachu." Pika. Ding. Completed achievement. Elite Trainer. Reward. Superstone Lottery Wheel unlocked and free lottery ticket. Xiao Gang's eyes widened as he pointed at Pikachu. Elite level? No way. How did it break through so easily? As expected of Ash, Xiao Sheng said, impressed. Xiaoyao nodded with admiration. After that, the others left Ash to his special training and got on with their own tasks. Xiaoyao continued her drills, Xiao Gang prepared lunch, and Xiao Sheng went into the forest to gather firewood. Early stage. Surfing channels electric energy into a massive wave to strike the opponent, may cause paralysis. Ash was pleased. Pikachu had now learned all of its partner moves. Eevee still had 4 moves to go. The easiest would be a Fire-type partner move, but Eevee would have to settle down first. Pidgeot and Pikachu began sparring. Though the matches were mostly one-sided, Pidgeot pushed itself and improved constantly under Pikachu's pressure. Ash, meanwhile, checked out the newly unlocked Superstone Lottery Wheel. "System, introduce the Superstone Lottery Wheel," he requested. Ding! The Superstone Lottery Wheel costs points per draw. Price 50,000 points per draw. Ash frowned. "What the heck? System, if you want points, just take them. Why make it a lottery? Spending 5 times as much as buying one? Isn't that insane?" The Superstones in the Lottery Wheel are not limited to those found in this world. Ash's eyes lit up. "You mean stones for things like Dragonite could be in there too?" Ding. "Yes. Great. I have a free ticket, right? Use it," Ash said excitedly. Superstone Lottery Wheel is opening. A 3-dimensional lottery wheel flashed into existence before Ash. He glanced around. No one else seemed to notice it, so the display must be visible only to him. Ding. Probability breakdown for the host. Thank you for your patronage accounts for 10%. Ordinary Superstones 50%. Arceus Superstones 30%. Legendary Pokemon Superstones 10%. Ash scowled. "So there's a thank you for your patronage slot? That just wastes my points." Ding. Gray equal thank you for your patronage. White, Ordinary Superstones. Purple is Arceus Superstones. Gold, Legendary Pokemon Superstones. Host, do you wish to start? Ash took a breath to calm down. "Let's do it." Ding. The lottery wheel is spinning. Please say stop, host. The wheel blurred as it spun. The pointer was impossible to read. The system had removed any chance of cheating. Ash shrugged and called stop. The wheel halted instantly. The pointer landed in the white area. A superstone flashed into Ash's hand in a burst of white light. Ash exhaled in relief. Thank goodness it wasn't the gray area. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the melodic superstone. Oh, that's melodics! Ash laughed, suddenly bubbling with excitement. One shot, one kill. The morning flew by. The melodic superstone alone left Ash grinning for a long time. Under Pikachu's constant pressure, Pidgeot finally broke through to Arceus late stage. Melodic and Bagon both rose to superior early stage. On Xiaoyao's side, Bulbasaur had successfully learned Petal Dance and reached superior early stage, giving her new confidence for the gorgeous competition. Bulbasaur, however, did not evolve upon breaking through to superior, unlike Torchic, so it would have to settle down later. Xiaoyao's own strength had climbed quickly with Ash's help. Her main fighters were progressing fast. Combuskin and Beautifully reached superior peak. Skitty was superior late stage. Bulbasaur and Swablu were superior early stage, and Melodic was at ordinary peak. Everyone gathered on the beach, waiting for Xiao Sheng, who was still collecting firewood, to come back so they could eat. Suddenly, there was a piercing scream from the forest. Ah! Xiao Sheng's shout echoed from among the trees. Ash and the others dashed toward the sound. To be continued. Chapter 102, Harry Appears, Plug a Conference. What's the matter, Xiao Sheng? Everyone asked, concerned. I saw it, Xiao Sheng blurted, stunned for a moment before regaining himself. Princess, I saw a Cradily. A Cradily, Xiao Gong frowned. We have found fossils of Lileep, its ancestor, but... Wait, Xiao Gong, Ash called, using his aura to get a read on the situation. Everyone, follow me. They hurried to the edge of the forest. Sure enough, in the tall grass stood a living Cradily. Oh my, it really is a Cradily, Xiao Yao exclaimed. Xiao Sheng beamed with pride. See, I told you, I couldn't be mistaken. Cradily, wonderful, you're here, a woman in a research uniform said brightly as she approached. Xiao Gong's heart skipped a beat, and he rushed forward, flustered. Ah, what a surprise to meet such a lovely lady here. May I ask your name? Spinda and Xiao Sheng hurriedly dragged Xiao Gong back before he could make a fool of himself. The woman introduced herself as Anu, a researcher from the Yamako Research Institute. She eagerly invited Ash and the others to visit the institute. At the institute, they met the head researcher, Dr. Zhu Xing, Anu's husband. Xiao Gong's heart sank, and Spinda hugged him in consolation. There, the group saw several living Lileep, peacefully swaying. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. Anorith is about to evolve, Anu said, checking a monitor. Dr. Zhu Xing's equipment, advanced enough to track Pokémon evolution in real time, registered the change. Anorith was bathed in a shower of evolution light and became the tall, fierce Armaldo, its behavior briefly wild. At that moment, Team Rocket tried to sneak in and grab the newly evolved Armaldo, but they were blasted back by the thunderbolt from Dr. Zhu Xing's Pikachu. Faced with the intimidating Pikachu, Armaldo calmed. After some gentle communication, they learned Armaldo had only been acting out because it was hungry for an ancient berry. Luckily, Dr. Zhu Xing had cultivated some, and the situation was quickly resolved. After thanking Dr. Zhu Xing and Anu, Ash and the others boarded a ship bound for Azabi Island. On the ship, Xiao Yao trained hard with Bulbasaur, repeating Petal Dance and Vine Whip over and over. Bulbasaur had improved significantly. If Xiao Yao kept this up, she had a real shot at winning the Plugga Conference. Ash clapped her on the shoulder. Come on, take a break. Let's get something to eat. Okay, Xiao Yao smiled, scooped Bulbasaur up, and turned, just in time to notice a man dressed like a cactus approaching. Beside him stood a Cacturne, the evolved form of Cacnea. Hey, that move just now looked great. Are you heading to the gorgeous competition on Azabe Island? The man asked. Yes, I'm planning to compete, Xiao Yao replied. The man stepped forward eagerly. Me too. Please show me the way. May I? Xiao Yao backed up politely. My name is Xiao Yao. Miss Xiao Yao, then. I'm Harry Haley, and this is my partner, Cacturne. He introduced himself with a flourish. Xiao Yao pulled out her Pokédex and scanned Cacturne. Harry watched her do it. Puzzled, did she already know his Pokémon? Xiao Yao added casually, so it's a dark type. No wonder it's got a bit of a menacing aura when it's quiet. Harry took offense at the tone and made an exaggerated, scared face, then tried to charm her with some homemade cookies. Xiao Yao tasted one, and with a diplomatic half-smile, offered a lukewarm compliment. Harry glowered. Pretty good was not the wholehearted praise he'd expected, and stalked away with Cacturne in tow. Ash pulled Harry aside and hissed, Harry, if you try anything, I won't let you get away with it. Pikachu gave off a faint pulse of its aura as a warning. Harry, startled, retreated sheepishly. By the time Xiao Yao looked for him, he was gone. Huh? Where'd Harry go? She asked. Ash shrugged. Be careful of him from now on. He's not as harmless as he looks. Okay, Xiao Yao said, though she was still puzzled. She made a mental note to be more wary. The next day, the Plugga conference opened on schedule. After the formalities, the contest began. Xiao Yao used Bulbasaur's many petals to create a beautiful stage with petal dance, then brought them down precisely with Vine Whip, an elegant routine the judges loved. She advanced to the second round easily. Harry's entrance fully embraced the dark-type aesthetic. His Cacturn drew a sinister skull pattern with Bullet Seed and leaned into a creepy theatrical performance that nonetheless scored highly. Both Xiao Yao and Harry advanced. In his first match, Harry easily beat an opponent, and before Xiao Yao went on stage, he tried to mislead her. Do you know? That Surskit's weakness is speed, he lied. Remembering Ash's warning, Xiao Yao didn't fall for it. She kept her pace, trusted Bulbasaur's strengths, and defeated Surskit comfortably. Finally, she faced Harry. Angered by his earlier behavior and determined not to let him win by tricks, Xiao Yao fought with focus. Even though Harry's Cacturn was strong, Xiao Yao used a well-timed combination of Razor Leaf and Petal Dance to secure the victory. She earned her third ribbon badge. Congratulations, Xiao Yao! Now you only need 2 more ribbons to qualify for the Grand Festival, Ash said, beaming. Thanks, Ash, Xiao Yao replied happily. And thank you for warning me about Harry. I never expected him to be like that. Xiao Yao had quietly added Harry to her blacklist, no more trusting his smooth talk. Their next destination was Sutopolis City for Ash's 8th badge, and to get there, they had to cross Izabe Island. As they entered a canyon, mist coiled through the rock, and looming ahead of them sat a gigantic, rocky Pokeball blocking the path. To be continued. Chapter 103, Trapinch's Dream Lake. In the Valley of Destruction, Xiaozhi's group was stopped by an old man named Shigeshige who sold local specialties. After they bought some Destruction Valley senbei, the old man enthusiastically told them about the valley's super source. According to him, a powerful evil force, an enormous Claydol, had once laid waste to the area. A white sage had appeared and used a gigantic rock Pokeball to seal it in a lake on a mountaintop. After the story, Shigeshige led Ash and the others to see that giant rock Pokeball resting in the mountain lake. Team Rocket, apparently cowed recently by Tianwang Pikachu's strength, didn't show up to make trouble, so their visit passed without incident. When they left, they ran into Sayori and her Mawile. Mawile took a liking to Xiao Gang's clumsy Lombre, but Lombre accidentally used Sayori's Water Stone and immediately evolved into a cheerful Ludicolo. Mawile lost interest at once and turned her affections to a bumbling Psyduck. The newly evolved Ludicolo danced happily with Xiao Gang. Back in town, Ash sent Sceptile and Pidgeot back, brought out Donphan and Manectric, and used rare candies to raise them to a level suitable for early gym challenges. After witnessing Mawile's change of heart, the group somehow got lost again and found themselves in a wasteland full of deep pits. What kind of place is this? It's just an island. We can't be lost again, can we? Ash complained. Pikachu and Eevee shook their heads helplessly. Xiaosheng fiddled with the navigator and sighed. I can't find this location at all. This place isn't even marked on the detailed maps of Izabe, Xiao Gang added, flipping through his travel book helplessly. If we can't get through here, we'll have to go back the way we came and take a long detour. No way! Xiao Yao immediately refused. After coming this far, there was no way she'd agree to turn back. Let's ask someone nearby for directions, Ash suggested. Everyone agreed. No one wanted to retrace their steps. They stared at the pits scattered across the ground. What are those holes? Xiaosheng asked. Xiao Gang shrugged. Ash, however, felt a faint Pokémon aura coming from below. He tossed a piece of Pokémon food into one of the pits. A huge head shot up from underground and snapped the food into its mouth. Xiao Gang and the others jumped back in surprise. Xiao Yao pulled out her Pokédex and scanned it. Trapinch. Ash's eyes brightened. Trapinch is the first form of Flygon, a pure ground dragon-line Pokémon in this region. After gobbling the food, the Trapinch burrowed back underground. Ash wasn't about to let it go. Pikachu, Eevee, let's go! Catch it! he cried, and leaped into the pit with them. They plunged down into darkness. Ash, everyone called. They were about to jump in after him when a rumbling off-road vehicle with a police light cut off their actions. A woman in practical off-road gear, neat and efficient, climbed out. "You two, stop. Those pits are dangerous. This is a restricted area," she scolded. Hearing it was dangerous, Xiaogang and the others panicked. Ash had jumped in after all. Xiaogang wasn't even in the mood to flirt. He was clearly worried. Xiaoyao tried to jump down to follow Ash, but Xiaogang grabbed her in time. Xiaosheng quickly told the woman that their companion had gone down into the pits. The woman looked alarmed and immediately took Xiaogang and the others to find help from a childhood friend. Down below, Ash landed in a vast underground tunnel system. With his aura perception, he detected countless connected tunnels, an underground maze. His aura pinned the Trapinch's location. "This way," he called, putting Pikachu and Eevee on his shoulders as he darted through a narrow passage. The chase took him right to a lake, and what he saw stunned him. "It's beautiful," Ash whispered. The lake was a perfect mirror under the light, and a giant natural fissure overhead let shafts of sunlight pour down, scattering across the water and creating a sight unlike anything Ash had ever seen. Pikachu and Eevee looked up, equally awed. Pikachu pointed toward the far side of the lake. Ash followed its gaze. A Trapinch was walking along the shoreline. "Stop! Trapinch!" Ash stepped forward and blocked its path, pulling out a Pokeball. "I'm going to catch you." The Trapinch stopped and met Ash's gaze with fierce determination. Ash grinned. He liked that fighting spirit. "Go, Milotic," he shouted. Trapinch's status flashed in Ash's mind. Type ground. Gender male. Ability cutter. Strength elite mids moves. Crunch, stomp, dig, sand tomb. First impression. Dynamax type ground. The Trapinch charged at Milotic with a bolt of speed. The move was first impression, a powerful strike that hits hardest on the first turn. "Milotic, Aqua Ring," Ash ordered. A ring of water swirled around Milotic, softening the impact of the attack. "Now Hydro Pump." Milotic fired a massive jet of water, but Trapinch dove into the sand and disappeared, evading the blast. Ash smiled. This Trapinch had good instincts. "Milotic, Hydro Pump the hole," he called. Milotic aimed another Hydro Pump into the spot Trapinch had vanished into. The blast exploded the sand, sending Trapinch tumbling out of its hiding place and onto the ground. Ash immediately threw his Pokeball. The ball shot open, enclosed Trapinch, and shook 1, 2, 3 clicks. The capture was successful. Ash sent Curlia back and lifted the Pokeball in triumph. "I caught Trapinch! Pika! Eevee!" the two cried in celebration. Just then, Xiaogang and the others arrived, led by the woman and a man who had a Trapinch of his own. The woman introduced herself as Akiko. The man was Heihachiro. They'd been searching for both Ash and the fabled Trapinch Dream Lake. Ash hurriedly apologized for worrying them. They hadn't even finished speaking when Heihachiro's Trapinch stirred, and then the Trapinch Ash had just captured leaped free and raced across the lake. Everyone gave chase. On the far shore, something incredible was happening. 40 or 50 Trapinch had gathered in a wide circle, standing perfectly still as if preparing for some ceremony. Under everyone's watchful eyes, the group of Trapinch glowed with a blue-white light and evolved all at once into Vibrava. The newly evolved Vibrava lay on the ground, their rhombus-shaped wings fanned out. The sight of so many simultaneous evolutions left everyone breathless. One by one, the Vibrava recovered and took flight, the massive wings lifting them into the cavern's light. When the commotion settled, only Heihachiro's and Ash's Vibrava remained with them. Ash checked his new partner's details. Vibrava, type ground dragon. Ability, levitate, unaffected by ground-type moves, immune to arena trap, poison spikes, stealth rock, sticky web, and terrain effects. Strength, elite late stage. Moves, dragon breath, dragon tail, bug buzz, fissure, brute force. After the astonishing display at the Dream Lake, Akiko helped them get their bearings. With her guidance, the group found their way back onto the map and continued toward their destination. To be continued. If you enjoyed this chapter, please leave a 5-star review and show your support. Thank you for reading. Chapter 104. The Disaster Pokemon Absol appears again. Xiaozhi's group, having left the Lake of Illusions, was on the road again. This time, they hadn't entered a forest. They'd arrived at the base of a steep rocky mountain. The first to give out from exhaustion was, unsurprisingly, Xiao. "I really can't do it," she moaned. "Can we take a break? I don't have the strength to walk another step." "Come on, Xiao Gang urged. "Up ahead, we should be able to see the bridge that leads to Liya Duo Village." Their destination was the small village at the foot of this mountain, Liya Duo Village, where they planned to rest. It was also on the way to Sailuosi town. "Everyone, look! The bridge is right ahead," Xiao Sheng, walking at the front, called out. Xiao Yao's spirits lifted at once, and the group quickened their pace. Sure enough, a wooden bridge spanned the river below. "That must be the way to the village," Xiao Yao said eagerly. "Great, let's hurry." They stared down at the river. The current was furious. Just as they were about to step onto the bridge, boom, the structure suddenly exploded and collapsed. "Ah, that was close," Xiao Yao breathed, grateful they hadn't stepped on it. "Look," Xiao Sheng pointed. On the far bank stood a familiar white-furred Pokémon, Absol. Ash's eyes brightened. He'd liked the Absol he'd seen back in Farnese, but couldn't catch it then because it had been protecting her. He'd recently caught Vibrava, and now another Absol had appeared right where they were. Perfect, except that when Absol showed up, it usually meant a disaster was coming. Could his protagonist luck never give him a quiet day? The bridge's destruction had already drawn villagers from Liya Duo Village. Several of them, armed with farming tools and crude weapons, hurried over in anger. "That hateful Absol wrecked the bridge again," one shouted. "Wait," Ash stepped forward. "Pikachu! Thunderbolt! Pika!" Pikachu leapt up, and a crackling bolt of electricity flashed between Ash and the crowd, keeping the villagers from rushing Absol. No one there could realistically beat Absol, and fighting it wouldn't help. From the villagers' words, it was clear this wasn't the first time Absol had destroyed a bridge. That was a sign something bigger was wrong. "Absol's dangerous," a villager demanded. "It's already destroyed 3 of our bridges. It's a disaster Pokémon." Ash chuckled softly. The villagers were short-sighted. "Absol doesn't cause disasters," he said. "It senses them coming and tries to warn people." He turned toward Absol and spoke more seriously. "Can you tell me what's going to happen here?" "Salu." Absol met Ash's earnest gaze, nodded, and took off running upstream along the riverbank. Ash motioned for Xiao Gang and the others to follow. The villagers exchanged uneasy looks, then decided to follow as well. They soon reached a cliff at the foot of the mountain. The locals, who'd lived here all their lives, were the first to notice something off. "Oh my God, water's seeping through the rock," one cried. Before anyone could react, the mountainside cracked, and a torrent of water burst out. Fortunately, everyone had kept their distance, but the sudden rush blasted into the river and became a massive, fast-moving flood. Liya Duo Village, downstream, was in immediate danger. "Please," the villagers pleaded with Ash, "you must save the village." Absol moved into position and fired a blazing hyper beam at a huge round boulder lodged on the mountainside, an obvious attempt to break it free. It was clear Absol had a plan, but it couldn't do it alone. That boulder could divert the flood and save Liya Duo. Ash said urgently, "Okay, Rayquaza Hyper Beam." He didn't bother hiding anymore. The League already knew, and Professor Oak had been covering for him. With a roar, Rayquaza appeared overhead and unleashed a massive hyper beam. The blast shattered the boulder free, and it crashed into the mountain pass, perfectly lodging itself to split the oncoming flood into 2 streams. The village below was spared. People dropped to their knees, staring in awe. This is the Lord of the Sky God," one whispered. "Thank you, Lord of the Sky God! Thank you!" The villagers' gratitude overflowed. Someone who could command the Lord of the Sky God had to be extraordinary. After a flurry of thanks, Ash recalled Rayquaza. The villagers gradually dispersed, still buzzing about the miracle, while Ash and his friends stayed behind with Absol. "Absol, would you like to be my partner?" Ash asked. "Solu." Absol crouched into a battle stance, clear as day. "If you want to catch me, you have to beat me first." Absol type Dark, gender male. Ability Super Luck. Attacks are more likely to be critical hits. Strength, Gym Leader early stage moves. Quick Attack, Hyper Beam, Night Slash, Zen Headbutt. Dynamax type Dark. "All right, Donphan," Ash called. He hadn't used Donphan in a long while. Donphan stomped out, bristling with fighting spirit. Absol flashed forward in a white blur and slammed into Donphan. "Salu!" Absol struck, then spun away as Donphan glared back and unleashed a surprising thunderfang. Sparks leapt from its great tusks. The charge sent Absol staggering for a moment, but it landed gracefully and retaliated with a flurry of razor-like wind blades from its horn. The whirlwind blade Ash recognized. "Donphan, charge! Heavy slam!" Ash ordered. Donphan had learned heavy slam from Agron in the backyard. With its size and mass, it hit extremely hard. Whirlwind blade couldn't stop Donphan's momentum. The massive ground beast charged through and knocked Absol clean off its feet. "Now!" Ash shouted, tossing a Pokeball. The ball hit, shook once, twice, 3 times, and burst into a 3-star flash. Absol was caught. Instead of sending Absol back to the Pokeball he carried, Ash teleported Absol back directly. Afterward, they made their way into Liya Duo Village, where the villagers welcomed them warmly. To be continued. Chapter 105, Snorunt joins the team. Ash and the others left Liyato Village behind and climbed into the snowy highlands. They hadn't changed clothes all season. Izabe Island's ecosystem is ridiculous. It has everything, Ash complained. It just keeps getting colder, Xiaoyao said, hugging herself. Xiao Gang, the eldest of the group, tried to reassure them. Hold on a little longer. We'll be at the Pokemon Center soon. If we go down the mountain from here, we'll reach Sailuosi Town, Xiao Sheng said excitedly. From there, we can take a boat to Sootopolis City and get our 8th gym badge. Ash nodded. Pikachu, Eevee. Pikachu and Eevee agreed. Look, the Pokemon Center's right up ahead, Xiao Gang pointed. Nestled in the snow was a warm-looking 2-story Pokemon Center, a welcome sight in the icy landscape. They quickened their pace and soon pushed through the doors. Good afternoon, Nurse Joy, they called. Good afternoon. Welcome, Nurse Joy smiled. Xiaoyao was already wobbling with exhaustion. Nurse Joy, can we rest here for a while? Of course. A blizzard's coming soon. Stay inside and warm up. As always, Xiao Gang stepped forward with a grand, flourished bow. Then this humble one shall respectfully obey. Until the ice and snow melt and spring comes to your heart, I will. A sudden gust of icy air cut him off. Before anyone could react, Xiao Gang froze in place like an ice sculpture. And then slowly cool my head down, he muttered, stunned into silence. Huh? Nurse Joy blinked. Then Ash spotted the culprit, a small, orange-caped Pokemon standing in the snow, flinging off powder snow. It's Snorunt, he exclaimed. So that's its name. It's so cute, Nurse Joy laughed. He comes by all the time. Whenever there are visitors, he runs out to see them. Before anyone could say more, Snorunt leapt up, snatched Ash's hat, and bolted out the window. Hey, that's my hat! Give it back, Ash shouted. Pikachu, Eevee, go. Snorunt likes to be mischievous, Nurse Joy told them, trying to calm the situation. He usually takes people's things, but he has no ill intent. He always brings them back. Please wait a moment. No chance. I'm going after it. Ash was already at the door. You two stay at the center, Xiaoyao, just in case. Nurse Joy, don't worry. Ash is very strong. A blizzard won't stop him, Xiao Gang and the others said as they watched him run out. They knew Ash had Rayquaza and that its airlock ability could negate the storm, so they felt more confident. Snorunt seemed to expect him, sitting in the snow wearing Ash's hat like a prize. Ash and his Pokemon surrounded it. All right, Snorunt, you're surrounded. Give it back. Pika! Eevee! Pikachu and Eevee readied themselves. Yuck yuck! Snorunt let loose an icy wind. Pikachu and Eevee responded quickly. Thunderbolt and Shadow Ball flashed to shield Ash. Snorunt turned and fled just as the blizzard rolled in. Ash activated his aura and gave chase with Pikachu and Eevee at his side. Through the aura, Ash closed in, and then Snorunt slipped at the edge of a cliff and tumbled down. Without hesitating, Ash jumped after it, with Pikachu and Eevee on his shoulders. 1 trainer and 3 Pokemon slid down the slope together. Snorunt trembled in Ash's arms. It's okay. We'll be fine, Ash said. Pikachu and Eevee snuggled close. In front of them loomed a massive stone pillar. Pikachu, Eevee, Iron Tail, Ash shouted. Both Pokemon leapt and drove their tails into the pillar, anchoring themselves. Ash grabbed them and stopped his slide. After that close call, they dug out a small snow shelter and huddled inside until the blizzard eased. Snorunt returned Ash's hat inside the snow house, placing it gently back on his head. Once the storm passed, Ash carried Snorunt back to the Pokemon Center. Xiaoyao let out a relieved sigh when they returned safe and sound. Ash crouched down and looked at Snorunt. Want to come with me? Yuck, Snorant ran outside and glanced back at Ash, full of fighting spirit. Ash nodded. All right then. He sent out Vigoroth. Snorant type Ice. Gender, male. Ability, Ice Body. Regains HP during hail. Strength, elite mid-stage moves. Powder Snow, Icy Wind, Double Team, Headbutt, Protect. Dynamax type Ice. Vigoroth, Scratch. Ash ordered. Vigoroth charged, but Snorant multiplied itself into countless double teams and surrounded him. Don't think I don't have a way around that, Ash said. Vigoroth, slash the ground. Vigoroth smashed its claws into the snow, scattering the illusions. The double team images vanished, revealing the real Snorant. Snorant rushed forward with a headbutt, but Ash called, Vigoroth, Fire Punch. A single, powerful strike sent Snorant flying. Ash threw a Pokeball. The light swallowed Snorant. Click. He had been caught. After the battle, Vigoroth reached Elite Late Stage, and Ash returned it to its Pokeball. With Snorant now on the team, they rested at the Pokémon Center, then said goodbye to Nurse Joy, and continued down the mountain towards Xiaozhi Town. To be continued. Chapter 1-6, Sutopolis City. Adam, the water artist. Ash and the others descended the mountain at last, leaving the snowy peaks behind and entering the forest midway down. They planned a short rest there, but unexpectedly found a Ralts lying weak and collapsed by the river. It looked like it had fallen in, was soaked through, and had a high fever. The group decided to take Ralts to the Pokémon Center for treatment. On the way, Xiaozhi formed a fast bond with the little Pokémon. They also encountered Ralts' companions, Kirlia and Gardevoir. After Ralts had protected Xiaozhi without regard for its own safety, Gardevoir came to accept the travelers. They hurried to the Pokémon Center, and the staff treated Ralts successfully. When it was time to say goodbye, Xiaozhi promised he would come back for Ralts once his journey began. After that meeting and farewell, the group boarded a cruise at the port of Xiaozhi Town and set off for Sutopolis City. Sutopolis City. We've finally arrived at Sutopolis City. Yes, I'll get that last badge for sure, Ash said, full of confidence. Pika Pika! Eevee! The gym leader of Sutopolis City, Adam, was no ordinary opponent. He was Wallace's mentor and a master coordinator, so though he was best known for contest work, he couldn't be underestimated in battle. Ash had done his homework and adjusted his lineup accordingly. He swapped out Donphan, Manectric, and Marshtomp for Venusaur, Absol, and Vigoroth. His team now included Snorant, Vibrava, and those 3 new additions, with Venusaur set as his anchor. Ash felt victory was within reach. What a beautiful city, Xiaoyao exclaimed. Suddenly, fireworks burst across the sky, many colorful explosions that drew their attention. Looks like there's a festival. Let's check it out, Xiaoyao said excitedly. Me too, Xiaozhi agreed at once. Let's go. Jim can wait, Ash said, and they headed to the celebration. The water stage was already packed. They had to squeeze through the crowd to get a view. The host's voice boomed. Welcome to Sutopolis City, the water capital. Tonight, a new water art will be unveiled. The audience applauded enthusiastically. Now, please welcome the main planner of tonight's performance, Master Adam, our gym leader. Thank you for his support. So the gym leader is here. Good thing we didn't go straight to the gym, Ash said. Let me introduce Adam, known as the water artist. A man in a blue tailcoat stepped onto the stage. Though he was older, he carried himself with elegance and drew cheers from many admirers in the crowd. He's really popular, Xiaoyao whispered. That's Adam, Wallace's mentor and a top coordinator. Watch closely, Ash urged. Adam opened the show. As he spread his arms, several pillars of water shot up from the stage, converging above to form a shimmering rainbow in the air. Good evening, everyone, he greeted. I'm very grateful you could come. Tonight, my beloved Pokémon will be the main contributors. One by one, graceful water-type Pokémon leapt from the water. Gorbis, Seadra, Azurill, Lovedisk, Goldeen, and Wailmer. They arranged themselves at Adam's sides, and finally Melodic emerged and glided to his feet. The crowd murmured in awe. Beautiful, Xiaoyao cried. That Melodic is incredible. As you'd expect from a top coordinator, Ash said. Now watch. Adam began his performance. Water Illusion, a sequence of precise, flowing water-type moves that looked like dancing. The audience erupted in applause at the display. After the show, Adam noticed Ash in the crowd. Knowing who Ash was from Wallace's circle and the attention he'd been getting in the league, Adam approached him. If I'm not mistaken, this is your first time in our city? He asked. Yes, the four of them replied. Ash stepped forward. Mr. Adam, I'm Ash from Pallet Town. I'm here to challenge the Sutopolis gym. Adam laughed and accepted. I know of you. I'll take your challenge. He invited them to his private yacht to ferry them to the gym. On the boat, Xiaoyao gushed. That performance was magnificent. I heard you used to be a top coordinator and that you're Wallace's mentor. Is that true? That's right, Adam said. To me, Pokémon are a form of art, especially water types. I train them to move quickly and gracefully, so their battles and performances become artistic expressions. Why specialize in water types? Xiaogang asked. Because many of them have such beautiful, streamlined forms, Adam replied. Ash, I've followed your past contests. What stands out about you and your Pokémon is the trust and cooperation you share. It's truly impressive. Really? Thank you, Mr. Adam. I won't let you down in the gym match, Ash said. Pika, Eevee. I look forward to seeing it, Adam smiled. They arrived at a grand manor, Liuli Gym. Welcome back, Master, the old butler greeted Adam. Adam introduced his guests. These are Ash and his friends, here to challenge the gym. Welcome, everyone, the butler said, bowing slightly. I'm Sebastian, the butler of this gym. Please come inside. As a water-type gym, its battlefield was set in a pool, with several small floating platforms on the surface. This looks like a swimming pool, Xiaoyao exclaimed. Adam and Ash took their places on opposite sides of the battlefield. The match was about to begin. To be continued. Chapter 107, Liuli Gym Match, Part 1. Now, let the gym match between Gym Leader Adam and Challenger Ash begin. 5 Pokémon will be used. Please select 2 Pokémon first for a double battle in the first round. The first round ends when both Pokémon of either the Gym Leader or the Challenger are unable to battle, Sebastian announced. Next, the Pokémon that win the first match will proceed to the second round. After the second round, it becomes a one-on-one duel. The match ends when all of one side's Pokémon are unable to battle. Also, only the Challenger may switch Pokémon during the match. Ah, these rules sound so complicated, Xiaosheng exclaimed. It seems they're testing the Challenger's ability to react in different situations, Xiaogang mused. As expected of the final gym, Xiaoyao sighed, watching Ash nervously. A 5 versus 5 match, only one shy of a full team, presented a major test. The Challenger had to be able to seize opportunities in many different ways. The pressure was enormous. These unusual rules were rare in the whole league. Trainers aiming for the Hoenn League must be like water, adaptable, able to change shape and respond correctly to whatever vessel they meet. Adam looked at Ash seriously. Ash, let me see what your strength can produce. Then let's begin. Go Seeking, Adam called. Celio. Seeking, elite mid-stage. Xiaoyao scanned Seeking with her Pokédex. Look strong. Go, Ash, she cheered. In that case, you two are it. Vibrava Snorant. Ash sent out his picks. Bring it on, Ash. Okay, I won't hold back. Vibrava, Dragon Pulse, Snorant, Icy Wind. Take out Seeking first. Ash's plan for the double battle was clear. Eliminate one opponent quickly. Vibrava and Snorant attacked together. A Dragon Pulse and an Icy Wind that combined into a striking Ice Dragon that barreled towards Seeking. Oh, that move is flashy, Adam commented, then ordered, Seeking, Horn Drill. Seeking's horn spun wildly and shredded the attacking Ice Dragon to pieces. This Seeking had been trained to use Horn Drill in that precise way. So powerful. That Ice Dragon attack was actually torn apart by Seeking, and Seeking took no damage, Xiaosheng exclaimed in surprise. Who would have thought a seemingly small horn drill could be used like that? Your turn. Celio Blizzard. Adam went on the offensive, targeting both Snorant and Vibrava. Got it. Snorant, use Icy Wind, Ash shouted. Snorant leapt and unleashed a blast of cold that froze Celio's Blizzard into a massive block of ice. The giant ice chunk fell onto the water and formed a new ice flow. Dragon Tail. Vibrava, which had flown behind Seeking, struck with a tail imbued with dragon energy and sent Seeking flying. Snorant, jump! Iron Head, Ash ordered. Snorant launched itself and slammed Seeking with Iron Head, driving it onto the newly formed ice flow. Boom! Seeking crashed and lay unable to battle. Seeking is unable to battle. Celio Ice Beam. Adam reacted immediately, targeting the airborne Snorant before it could land. Oh no, Snorant! Ash cried. Snorant was crucial for the second round. Losing it now would be a huge blow, especially since it couldn't dodge while in midair. At that moment, Vibrava burst into a white light and intercepted the ice beam, taking the hit for Snorunt. Both Pokémon were hurled back onto the platform, and Vibrava froze into an ice statue. "Vibrava!" Ash shouted. Vibrava flashed with white light and shattered the ice, but its stamina was spent. "It held on?" Adam murmured in surprise. Ice-type moves were super effective against Vibrava, yet it had endured at the critical moment. "Very spirited. What now? Ice Ball!" Cielio condensed an ice ball and hurled it. "Snorunt, powder snow to block it," Ash called. "Yuku!" Snorunt released a flurry of powder snow that neutralized the ice ball. "Again!" Adam ordered, and Cielio formed another, larger ice ball. Ice ball grows stronger the more it's used. This time the attack was far more powerful. "We can't keep taking hits like that. Snorunt, Icy Wind, Vibrava, Rock Slide," Ash barked. Both attacks collided with Cielio's ice ball. A huge explosion of ice and rock smoke filled the arena. When the mist cleared, Adam could only see Snorunt standing on the platform. Vibrava had vanished. "Cielio, dive into the water now." "Too late," Ash's voice rang out. "Snorunt, powder snow. Don't let it escape. Vibrava, use brute force to finish it." "Yuku." Snorunt's powder snow instantly froze the water surface around Cielio, leaving the Pokémon nowhere to hide. Vibrava poured every last ounce of energy into a powerful fighting-type strike, brute force, and slammed Cielio down. Boom! Cielio collapsed, unable to battle. "Yay, we did it!" Xiaozhi cheered. "Cielio is unable to battle. Challenger Ash wins the first round." "Good job, Vibrava." "Snorunt," Ash smiled. This victory had been due largely to Vibrava's flanking maneuvers. Without them, the outcome might have been different. Adam, whose two Pokémon had been felled by surprise attacks before they could fully react, was frustrated. "I didn't expect to stumble twice. Ash, you're very good." Now, it's time for the second round. The battlefield and trainer positions will change. The water in the pool began to recede, reshaping the arena into mixed terrain: water, rocky mountains, and grass, though water still dominated. The match continues. "Snorunt, you're up," Ash called. "Yuku." Snorunt stood on the grass, determined. Ash technically still had 5 Pokémon, but Vibrava was essentially out of commission. That left 4 able to fight against Adam's 3. Ash still held a numerical advantage. Adam sent out a cute love disc. "Love disc, love disc." "Love disc, water pulse." Adam struck first. "Snorunt, double team, then proceed as planned. Snowscape," Ash ordered confidently. Snorunt created countless illusory copies and dodged the water pulse, then sent an ice-blue orb of light into the sky. Snow began to fall across the field. "Begin. Icy Wind, cover the entire arena." To be continued. Chapter 108, Liuli Gym Match, Part 2. Snorunt's icy wind swept across the arena, and the surface of the water began to freeze in the cold air. The battlefield gradually transformed into an ice field. "What? So that's the plan," Adam said, stunned. No wonder Ash had protected Snorunt so fiercely earlier. He'd been setting this up. Losing the water field would cripple most of Adam's team, especially Love Disc. As a fish Pokémon, without water, Love Disc couldn't fight effectively. "Love Disc, use Rain Dance. Compete for the weather, then surf to protect our water field," Adam ordered. Love Disc began Rain Dance, and because it was a high-level Pokémon, it managed to contest the weather. Then it surged forward with Surf, blasting water into the icy wind and forming a huge wall of water and ice that blocked the freezing gusts and preserved a strip of open water. The field was now split. Ash's side an ice field, Adam's side a mixed field with the last patch of water. Ash smiled. He hadn't brought any water-type Pokémon this time, which had looked risky, but he had a plan. He recalled Snorunt and threw another Pokeball. "Come back, Snorunt. I choose Vigoroth," Ash called. Vigoroth appeared on the ice field. Ash kept his commands economical since the field was divided. "Vigoroth, use Bulk Up." Vigoroth struck a pose as white light flashed and its attack rose. "Again, work up," Ash pushed. Vigoroth pounded its chest. The attack increased again. Adam tensed. If Vigoroth kept boosting like this, it would be trouble. "Love Disc, use Water Pulse and break the wall," Adam barked. Water pulses peppered the wall, and the barrier began to crack. Seeing the opening, Ash barked, "Vigoroth, focus energy." Then Focus Punch. Vigoroth concentrated, and as the wall shattered, it charged. "Ash, your plan's obvious," Adam snapped. "Love Disc, Aqua Jet, evade." Love Disc whirled in a jet of water and shot up into the air to avoid the incoming punch. "Now, Sweet Kiss!" Adam seized the moment. He sent out a wave of hearts toward Vigoroth. Vigoroth became confused and started swinging wildly at the air and the surrounding ice wall. Love Disc, Hydro Pump, Adam ordered. A massive stream of water slammed into Vigoroth and sent it flying. Vigoroth, snap out of it, Ash shouted. It's no use. Aquajet. Adam pushed for the finish, sending Love Disc rocketing toward the dazed Vigoroth. At the last second, Vigoroth seemed to hear Ash. It shook its head, regained its focus, and unleashed a fully charged focus punch as Love Disc came in. The hit sent Love Disc flying. There was an enormous splash, and when the water settled, Love Disc could no longer battle. Love Disc is unable to battle. Vigoroth wins, the official announced. Adam stared at Ash for a long moment, then gave a wry smile. That's an impressive bond between you and your Pokémon. It really shows. I'll take Whiscash, Adam said. Good work, Vigoroth. Come back and rest. Ash recalled Vigoroth and threw another Pokeball. Absol, go! They both released their next Pokémon to the mid-stage of the arena. Whiscash for Adam and Absol for Ash. Absol Sucker Punch. Ash and Adam's commands were almost simultaneous, and Absol vanished behind Whiscash to strike first, knocking it back just as it prepared Surf. Don't give it an opening. Dark Pulse. Absol launched a concentrated Dark Orb at Whiscash. Whiscash, Surf, and Rock Smash. Adam executed a combo. Whiscash sent up a towering wave to dodge the Dark Pulse, then crashed down and charged Absol. Double Team. Absol split into multiple illusory copies. Hyper Beam. Each Absol focused and fired at once, making it impossible to tell which was the real one. If you can't tell, defeat them all. Muddy water across the field, Adam ordered. Whiscash produced torrents of muddy water in every direction. The copies of Absol vanished one by one until only the real one remained. But Hyper Beam was ready to impact. Jump, Adam called, and Whiscash's heavy body leapt high enough to avoid the blast. Absol, charge and Night Slash, Ash countered. Whiscash, grab it, Giga Impact, Adam replied without hesitation. Whiscash latched its whiskers onto Absol and hurled itself forward in a crushing Giga Impact, while Absol slashed with a blade of dark energy. Super Luck activated. Absol's strike was a critical hit. Both Pokémon collapsed under the collision. Whiscash and Absol are both unable to battle, the referee declared. Now only the final Pokémon remained on each side. Melodic, it's your turn, Adam said calmly. I choose Venusaur, Ash answered. Melodic and Venusaur entered the field at the same time, Melodic graceful in the water, Venusaur heavy on the ice and water boundary. The final contest for the badge was underway. Melodic, Hydro Pump, Adam opened. Venusaur, take it, sunny day, Ash countered, taking command of the weather. Venusaur braced and withstood the Hydro Pump, then stamped the ground. The weather shifted, the air felt warmer and drier. Vine Whip, grab Melodic, Ash ordered, the plan unfolding. Twister. Melodic spun in the water, summoning a water tornado that wrapped around and protected it from the vines. Twister again. Attack. Melodic sent the vortex forward. Petal Blizzard. Venusaur scattered a swirl of petals that shredded and dispersed the water tornado. Melodic, Iron Tail. Melodic leapt, its tail gleaming metal as it struck toward Venusaur. You jumped too high. Since you came to me, I won't be polite. Ash laughed. Vine Whip to restrain, then Solar Beam, now. Venusaur wrapped Melodic with vines and instantly fired a Solar Beam. The blast knocked Melodic back into the water. Melodic, recover, Adam called. White light healed Melodic's wounds as it regained strength in the water. Ash seized his moment. Finish it, Frenzy Plant. Venusaur planted its feet, and massive vines erupted, piercing through the water and wrapping around Melodic. The attack overwhelmed Melodic. It could not continue. Melodic is unable to battle. Venusaur wins. The winner is the challenger Ash. Sebastian, Adam's old butler, stepped forward to check and announce the result. Adam shook his head in disappointment, but walked over to Ash and handed him the badge. You defeated me. Take this, the Raindrop Badge. Ash accepted the badge. With all 8 gym badges now in his collection, he had earned his ticket to the Hoenn League Conference. To be continued. Chapter 109, The Last Grand Competition, Pacific Log Town Tournament. After the gym match, Adam hosted Ash and the others warmly and even taught Xiaoyao some contest techniques. Before they left, he added, Ash, congratulations on getting 8 badges. You've qualified for the Hoenn League Alliance Conference. It'll be held in Evergrande City in 3 months. But the Grand Festival comes even sooner than the League Conference, so Xiaoyao, you need to hurry. There may only be 2 or 3 contests left before the Grand Festival. Yes, I'll definitely win the last 2 contests, Xiaoyao said with determination. Good luck, Adam smiled. Ash, trying to keep calm, cheered himself on in secret. He was determined to win his first champion title. The group said their goodbyes and, following Adam's directions, first stopped at a small nearby town holding a low-stakes contest. With no strong competitors present, Xiaoyao relied on her melodic's beauty to win easily. From there, they boarded a boat heading for the final contest before the festival, Pacific Town. Everything suddenly felt urgent for Xiaoyao. Whether she could attend the Grand Festival depended on this battle. She and Ash dove into last-minute training. 2 Combuscans sparred, while Venusaur worked Bulbasaur on new techniques. Xiaoyao focused on Skitty, trying to teach it Blizzard. Meow! Skitty, however, was in playful mood and ignored the training. Watching from the side, Ash noticed Skitty's level was already high. He pulled out a top-grade Moonstone. Xiaoyao, Skitty's ready to evolve. If you want, you can use this. Oh, Xiaoyao was taken aback. I hadn't decided yet. Ash shook his head. Keep it for now. Whether to evolve or not is your choice. Pikachu is strong without evolving too. I'm just offering a suggestion. A Moonstone's energy was considerable. With Skitty evolved, Xiaoyao's chances at Pacific Town would improve dramatically. An evolved Delcatty could push into the gym leader early stage and easily become her ace. Xiaoyao accepted the gift. Thank you, Ash. I'll think about it seriously, she said and put the Moonstone away. Ash planned to stay and use Snorunt to challenge trainers around Pacific Town to help it gain experience toward evolution. The trainers he challenged pushed him to an 11-match win streak, and that finally triggered Snorunt's evolution. As an icy blue beam condensed, Snorunt transformed into a fierce Glalie with a big head and a menacing stare. Glalie's presence made it clear Snorunt had jumped into the late-stage ranks, now packing moves like Freeze Dry and Sheer Cold. After the win, Ash recalled Glalie and went to meet up with the others. Not long after, Xiaoyao ran into 2 of her fellow contestants, Lishu and Jiang Liji. A misunderstanding, Jiang Liji mistook Xiaoyao for being on a date with Lishu, flared into a challenge. Xiaoyao couldn't explain and, irritated, accepted a showdown at the Pacific Town tournament. That night after dinner, Xiaoyao slipped away with Skitty. Beneath the stars, she knelt and took out the Moonstone. Skitty, you decide. Do you want to evolve? Skitty thought of Delcatty's graceful form and, with a happy nod, touched the Moonstone with a paw. Evolution light bloomed into the night, and Skitty became Delcatty. The Pacific Town tournament began the next day. As the last contest before the Grand Festival, every coordinator brought everything they had. The opening performance came from Musashi's new alias, Musashi Cg, teamed with Meowth, the ice sculpting master. Musashi sculpted Team Rocket's boss Giovanni and a Persian as part of a dramatic display until Meowth indignantly swapped itself in for Persian, declaring its loyalty. Lishu's Houndoom and Jiang Liji's Jinx were outstanding in their acts, drawing roaring applause. Finally, it was Xiaoyao's turn. Delcatty, take the stage, she called, and the evolved Delcatty prowled out, composed and elegant. Even Ash had been surprised. Xiaoyao chose to evolve Skitty so quickly. Xiaoyao opened with Delcatty's assist. The random move assist produced was Razor Leaf. Reacting fast, Xiaoyao used Blizzard to freeze the leaves mid-air, then shattered them with Double Slap, sending glittering white powder scattering across the stage. The judges loved the theatrical timing, and 4 contestants advanced to the second round. In the rest area, Ash cheered them on. You did great. Let's go all the way and win. Of course, I still have to meet Ash again at the Grand Festival, Xiaoyao replied, and Delcatty purred in agreement, noticeably calmer than the Skitty she had once been. The second round was a 5-minute contest. Delcatty, now solidly in the gym leader early stage, dominated the arena. It dispatched Lishu's Houndoom with a combination of charm and precision, then faced Jiang Liji's Jinx. In a decisive moment, Assist produced a powerful flamethrower. Xiaoyao capitalized on the surprise, and Jinx was defeated. With that victory, Xiaoyao earned the final ribbon she needed to enter the Grand Festival. Jiang Liji, having realized her mistake, came over and shook Xiaoyao's hand in apology. Congratulations, Princess, Xiaosheng cheered. A newcomer rising so quickly to qualify for the Grand Festival from novice to a formidable coordinator in such a short time, spoke to Xiaoyao's talent and growth. Her journey was far from over. To be continued. Chapter 110, Xiaoyao's Cuisine and Munchlax. After leaving Moss Deep City, everyone qualified for the Grand Festival and set their course for Slateport City. On the way, they stopped at a small, picturesque island to rest. The island's specialty was obvious. Berries of every kind grew everywhere, and the Pokémon Center even offered free use of a Poffin machine. As usual, Ash and the others handed their Pokémon to Nurse Joy at the desk. Xiaogang surged forward with a grin. Tonight, allow this humble one and the lovely lady to have a long chat about berries. Bang! Spinda sprang out and with Xiao Sheng's help, dragged Xiaogang away. Xiao Yao, ever obsessed with making Poffins, had already collected her checked Pokémon from Nurse Joy and pulled Ash and the others toward the Poffin machine. Ash and Xiaogang each unfolded a recipe and began mixing. Ash worked precisely, tailoring Poffins to his Pokémon. For Pikachu, he used mostly sour berries to make a yellow Poffin. "Try it," he said, handing it to Pikachu on his shoulder. Pikachu chirped, ate, and then beamed in delight. Eevee, watching, immediately scrambled onto Ash's other shoulder, desperate for a taste. All right, Ash laughed and started making one just for Eevee. Xiaoyao, by contrast, threw caution and ingredients to the wind. Spicy, bitter, sweet, everything went in. The result was a startling purple Poffin. Xiaosheng eyed it nervously. "Princess, are you sure about this?" he asked, pale. Xiaoyao beamed. "Relax, this is my masterpiece. I call it Xiaoyao's Cuisine." She handed a printed recipe like a proud chef. Curiosity won out. Xiaogang and Xiaosheng each took a piece and bit in. For a few seconds, they forced smiles, then their faces contorted. "How do I put this? It's very unique," Xiaogang stammered. Xiaosheng was blunt. "Honestly, it's completely inedible." "That's because it's for Pokémon," Xiaoyao scoffed. "Maybe it's not for human palates, but Pokémon will love it." Xiaoyao carried a huge bowl of her purple creation out and set it before a crowd of Pokémon. Ash glanced at the mix, exchanged a few bottles of antidote with himself, just in case, and despite his misgivings, let his Pokémon try some. He couldn't really stop them. Better they tasted it than be left out. The Pokémon didn't have the same palate as humans. At first, they ate with relish. Pikachu's cheeks went pale blue for a second. Then it gave Ash a rigid, betrayed smile that said, "You did this to me!" Ash returned the look with an apologetic chuckle. Other Pokémon had even stranger reactions. Their fur shifted into vivid new colors, purple, green, pink, cyan, and they briefly appeared as shiny versions of themselves. But the side effects weren't harmless. Many of them temporarily lost their battle readiness and had to be taken to Nurse Joy for treatment. It was a total, if colorful, wipeout. Ash quietly tucked away a few Pokeballs afterward, muttering something about potential miraculous effects later, while everyone hurried their Pokémon to Nurse Joy. "I thought it was a success," Xiaoyao said, crestfallen. "It's fine," Ash said kindly. "Tweak the recipe and you'll get it right. You're close." Her spirits lifted at once. Then a rumbling sniff came from the grass outside the center. A round, hungry-looking Munchlax ambled in, nosed the bowl, and began devouring Xiaoyao's purple blocks with unrestrained enthusiasm. Xiaoyao watched tensely, hoping the creature would approve. The Munchlax made happy little noises and ate bowl after bowl until nothing was left. Xiaoyao clapped. "See, someone likes it? Munchlax, want more?" "Kabi," the Munchlax replied, its eyes lighting up. A little Pokédex-style readout popped up for everyone to see. Munchlax, gender, male, type, normal, ability, thick fat, strength, above average for a starter stage, moves, metronome, tackle, Dynamax type normal. Ash grinned. "Xiaoyao, since you two get along so well, maybe you should catch it." Xiaosheng and Xiaogang enthusiastically endorsed the idea. As the daughter of normal-type gym leader Senri, Xiaoyao would be great at training normal types, and both she and Munchlax clearly loved food. "Catch it!" Xiaoyao's eyes sparkled. "Okay, I want you, Munchlax. Come with me, and I'll make Xiaoyao's cuisine for you every day." "Kabi." Munchlax cocked its head at the promise of endless food. It nodded eagerly like a chick finding grain. Xiaoyao stepped back, threw a Pokeball, and the curious Munchlax mistook it for a snack. It leaped up and swallowed the Pokeball whole. Everyone froze. The red light flashed inside Munchlax, and the capture was successful. Ding. Capture confirmed. Xiao Yao rushed forward to retrieve the ball, but it had vanished. Huh, where's Munchlax? She cried. Xiao Sheng facepalmed. Princess, remember, your family sends newly caught Pokémon straight to home care. It'll be sent to Dad. Sure enough, thanks to the family's status, the captured Munchlax had been recorded and automatically transferred to Senri's care. Xiao Yao exhaled, part relieved and part disappointed. I hope he eats well over there, she said fondly. After that, Ash helped adjust recipes to suit Xiao Yao's Pokémon exactly. With customized poffins, her team finally got something they loved. Pikachu, for one, was reduced to happy tears as it devoured every bite. Woo, too good. It seemed determined to make up for the earlier culinary trauma. To be continued. Chapter 111. Rival Masamune appears. The Clash of Hoenns Arceus. Xiaozhi's group had been traveling and training for nearly a month, stopping and starting along the way, and they still hadn't reached Slateport City. The festival was still about half a month away. For now, they were leisurely eating lunch on a small island. I'm full. Ash calmly put down his bowl and chopsticks. Xiao Gang's cooking was as delicious as ever. Already? Xiao Yao, still working hard on her meal, couldn't help but exclaim when she saw Ash finish so quickly. Shouldn't such good food call for 8 big bowls? Let's get some exercise after eating, Ash suggested to his Pokémon. Hearing that, the others glanced at the Pokémon food in front of them and hesitated. Pikachu. Pikachu sped up and finished the last bite of its energy cube. Pikachu quickly raised a little paw in agreement, drawing the attention of the other Pokémon. We have a little traitor among us, someone teased. Seeing Ash's fighting spirit, Xiao Yao was infected. Okay, I'm going all out too, she declared and attacked the rice in her bowl like she meant it. Everyone else just watched. Ah, my rice ball! A sudden cry came from down the slope. Everyone looked up and saw a giant rice ball, half a person tall and weighing dozens of pounds, rolling toward them. Holy moly, Ash exclaimed. Venusaur, stop it! Banna? Venusaur's 8 massive vine whips wrapped around the rice ball, lifted it, and gently placed it in front of the group. Gulp, what a huge rice ball, Xiao Yao swallowed. It looks so delicious. Put down that rice ball. Let me. No, it's mine. A chubby boy in an orange-red robe carrying a package came rushing down the slope. He was running too fast to stop and was about to crash into a tree. Ash sighed and gave Vigoroth a look. Vigoroth stepped forward to stop him. Are you okay? Xiao Gang asked, concerned. The chubby boy flexed his limbs. Ha ha, thanks, I'm fine. But the important thing is my rice ball. Here, your rice ball. Ash handed it back. If Munchlax had been here, he thought, the rice ball might not have survived. The boy hugged the rice ball and stroked it like it was a prized beauty, then devoured it in huge bites. He finished with a satisfied, I'm full. Then, suddenly remembering the others, he stood up to introduce himself. My name is Masamune. I'm training to compete in the Fengyuan Alliance Sayao Conference. Oh, that explains it. I'm Ash from Pallet Town. Ash introduced himself. My goal is to win the Hoenn League. Oh, my ambition isn't just that. I want to become the world's #1 Pokémon trainer, Masamune declared proudly. That's basically the same as Ash, Xiao Yao said with a smile. Masamune tilted his head toward Ash. That's right. I want to become a Pokémon Master. Let's both work hard. Ash replied with a half-laugh. How many people entering the league didn't say the same thing? This Masamune was a bit blunt. What? The world's #1 trainer can only be me. I challenge you. Couldn't be better. Come on. Ash accepted without hesitation. They headed to an open field to battle, with Xiao Gang acting as referee and Xiao Yao's siblings as the audience. The match was about to begin. On my side, it's Beldum. Masamune called out and sent his Pokémon. The small metal Pokémon stood ready. In that case, Bagon, Ash shouted and immediately sent out his Bagon. Bay. Ah, it's a little showdown between 2 of Hoenn's miniature Arceus, Xiao Sheng cried. Beldum. Though Beldum was a level higher than Bagon, it only knew one move. Tackle. Strike first. Beldum. Use tackle, Masamune barked. Use headbutt, Ash answered. When it came to head-on clashes, Ash wasn't one to back down. Bang! The 2 Pokémon collided headfirst, neither yielding. Their heads were surprisingly tough. They crashed apart and backed off. Again! Tackle! Masamune repeated. His style was simple, full-on assault. He's only using tackle? Xiao Yao asked in surprise. Yeah, because Beldum only knows tackle, Xiao Sheng explained with a wry smile. Then how's he going to win? Xiao Yao wondered. With spirit. My Beldum is not an ordinary Pokémon. Go. Masamune shouted passionately. Ash's mouth twitched. That still sounded like recklessness. He ordered, Bagon, dodge, then use Spark. Bay. Bagon sidestepped, avoiding the charge, and spat a few sparks toward Beldum. The little metal Pokémon was suddenly engulfed in electricity. Beldum, show some spirit. Charge, tackle, Masamune yelled. Beldum smashed through the sparks and barreled into Bagon. Your spirit is strong, but so are we. Bagon, full power, Fire Fang. Bay. Flames surged around Bagon's jaws, forming fiery fangs that bit into the charging Beldum. The metal Pokémon was scorched. Final blow, Dragon Rush. Bay. Bagon transformed into a larger dragon form and smashed Beldum, sending it flying toward Masamune. Beldum is unable to battle. Bagon wins. The winner is Ash, Xiaogang announced. Well done, Bagon, Ash praised. Bagon looked at the defeated metal Pokémon and leapt for joy, breaking through to elite mid-stage. Come back and rest, Beldum. Masamune recalled his Pokémon and approached Ash, clearly not satisfied. Ash, even though I lost this time, I won't lose when it comes to badges, he said defiantly. Ash laughed. He already had 8 badges. Could this chubby kid possibly have challenged as many gyms as Gary once did? He asked, How many badges do you have? Hey, don't be surprised. I have 7 badges. Masamune puffed out his chest proudly. Just one more and I can enter the Hoenn League's Caillou Conference. Everyone fell silent. But Ash already has 8 badges, Xiao Yao pointed out weakly. Are you going to be okay? Xiaogang couldn't help but ask. There are only 2 months left until the conference. What? Only 2 months left? Masamune gasped. No, I have to hurry up and get that last badge. He grabbed his package and dashed off, leaving Xiaozhi's group staring after him. That evening, they ran into Masamune again at the Pokémon Center. There was no gym on the island, so he'd been forced to circle back. The next morning, Ash and Masamune agreed to have another showdown at the Caillou Conference and then went their separate ways. Xiaozhi's group boarded a cruise ship and continued onward. To be continued. Chapter 112, Groudon, Under Mount Chimney. This time, Xiaozhi's group headed straight for their destination, Mount Chimney. The last time they'd come here, it had been to cross to Lavarage Town, and they'd run into Team Magma and Team Aqua fighting over a meteorite. Things had changed since then. Those teams were all in jail now. The real reason Xiaozhi's group had come back was because, according to the message Ash had received from an ancient Groudon, a descendant of Groudon was sleeping inside Mount Chimney. Their goal this trip was obvious, capture Groudon. Mount Chimney Summit. Is there really a Groudon here? Xiao Sheng asked. Don't question Ash, Xiao Yao snapped. It was told to him by another Groudon itself. She glared at Ash, who had gone quiet and was staring into a pool of bubbling magma. Ash, what are you thinking about? Trying to lure it out? No, Ash blurted. I'm deciding whether to use a heavy ball or a master ball. Everyone stared. Here he was worrying about which Pokeball to use before anything had even happened. Ash noticed their looks and shrugged. You don't understand. If that Groudon before hadn't been at a divine rank, it would have been mine ages ago. Besides, I'm saving points for the Super Evolution Stone lottery. If I weren't, I'd totally use a Master Ball. Fine, heavy ball it is. Rayquaza's here to watch my back anyway. This is only useful against legendary Pokemon, Xiao Yao muttered, but everyone stepped back when Ash shouted, Everyone, stand back! I'm going to perform! They retreated to avoid being caught up in whatever Ash was about to do. Ash stopped hesitating, produced the red orb, and held it up. The magma bubbled and roiled as if something beneath it had been roused. When the ancient primal Groudon had told Ash the location, it hadn't explained how to summon its descendant, it had only returned the favor. Ash had decided the risky option was unavoidable. He wasn't going to bombard the volcano with Rayquaza, who would want to risk a volcanic eruption. A massive beast opened its eyes at the bottom of the volcano and rose from the lava, its gaze locking on the red orb in Ash's hand. Groudon! Xiao Sheng gasped. Type Ground. Ability, Drought. Strength, late-stage legendary Pokemon moves. Cliff Blade, Earthquake, Stone Edge. Dynamax type Ground. Groudon, want to come with me? If you agree, this red orb is yours. Ash called. Groudon roared angrily. How dare a human speak as if it could give away the red orb? If the human didn't radiate a divine aura, a Cliff Blade would have been a perfect warning. Ash had expected that reaction. He tossed out a proposition. How about a battle? If you win, you keep the red orb. If I win, you become my Pokémon. Groudon didn't hesitate. A human child, what threat could he possibly be? Cliffblade would sort him out. The red orb could push it toward a divine rank. Maybe it could even become second in command of a Groudon tribe. While Groudon dreamed of those possibilities, Xiaoyao and the others watched in disbelief as it took the bait. Legendary or not, it seemed taken in by a simple promise. Ash grinned and called out, "Then I choose you." Rayquaza, standing nearby as Ash's guardian, rumbled and bared its teeth. It was ready to show its strength. Last time it had struggled against Groudon and Kyogre, but it wasn't going to back down now. Groudon, however, froze when it saw Rayquaza. The Sky Dragon's power was comparable to its own. Even together with Kyogre, they had failed before. Humiliated by being outmaneuvered, Groudon realized the human had tricked it. Legendary pride stung, but Groudon chose to nod in reluctant agreement. It couldn't exactly break its word. Rayquaza snorted and returned to its Pokeball on its own. Ash smiled. "You've agreed to be my Pokémon." Groudon offered a tight nod. There was nothing else it could do. It was a legendary Pokémon that kept its promises. All right, 2 gifts then. Catch. Ash tossed the red orb toward Groudon, and at the same time thought to the system, use ability stacking card on Groudon. Stack Levitate. Use successful. Groudon seized the red orb. Light exploded across its body as Primal Reversion took hold. Primal, type, ground, fire. Ability, 1 Desolate Land. On entry, intense sunlight prevents water-type moves. 2 Levitate. Strength, peak legendary Pokemon, held item. Red orb with Levitate added. Primal Groudon now had no weaknesses. It felt something new. Its feet lifted off the ground. It could fly. The sensation thrilled it, and the fact that the human had given it this ability made it look at Ash with newfound favor. From that moment on, the human was its big brother. "Become my Pokémon," Ash called and produced a heavy ball. He launched it at Groudon. The heavy ball encapsulated Groudon, surged, and with a single chime, the capture was successful. "I caught Groudon," Ash announced. "Pikachu, Eevee," the others echoed, stunned. Xiaoyao and the others stared, astonished at how easily it had happened. "Report to the Creator God," one of them muttered. "Someone here is using a cheat." Back at Professor Oak's laboratory, the heavy ball, as usual, teleported back to Professor Oak's lab. Oak went to the backyard to check it out, but when he tried to open the ball, he found it locked tight. Inside, Groudon watched Oak's fumbling with disdain, then closed its eyes and began to probe the red orb's power, sensing the change it had brought. To be continued. Chapter 113. Returning to Slateport City, Gathering of Grand Festival Masters. Xiaozhi's group arrived at the port. With Ash and Xiaoyao qualified for the Grand Festival, they boarded the luxurious cruise ship St. Prospera, reserved for contestants and their companions. The ship's entertainment facilities were practically all-inclusive, movie theaters, game rooms, like a miniature city on the water. Because Ash had arrested the thousand-faced phantom thief Banai at the Weather Institute, Banai was still locked up and posed no trouble on the voyage. The trip was smooth, and they reached Slateport City without incident. They took some time to visit the Grand Festival Champion Trophy, which only strengthened Xiaoyao's resolve to win. Slateport City itself had changed dramatically in the few months since they'd last seen it. "This is the Grand Festival Arena. We finally made it," Xiaoyao exclaimed. "You two have to give it your all, Ash, Xiaoyao," Xiaogang urged. "We will," Ash and Xiaoyao answered in unison. As expected of a venue built for the Grand Festival, the stage was a dream come true for coordinators, a spectacle on a scale that rivaled any league tournament. The first order of business was registration. "Thank you," the two said when staff helped them. "All right, we have your information. You are Xiaoyao from Petalburg City and Ash from Pallet Town, correct? Please present your ribbon badges." "No problem," they replied, handing over their badges. The staff scanned them and handed back tournament guides. "Information received. Welcome to the Grand Festival. Here is your tournament guide." Ash took the guide, thanked the staff, and headed to a phone booth in the Pokémon Center to contact Professor Oak and swap back the Pokémon he had registered. "I've got them. Thanks, Professor Oak," Ash said on the line. "Ah, do your best in the Grand Festival. I'll be cheering in front of the TV," Professor Oak replied, then suddenly looked puzzled. He pulled a heavy ball from his bag. "Oh, what's this heavy ball? Why can't it be opened? Is your Pokémon inside it?" Ash's mouth twitched. No wonder Groudon hadn't come up in their earlier conversation. Professor Oak had no idea at all. Ash smiled and said, "Why don't you keep it for a while and help train my Pokémon?" The heavy ball in Oak's hand trembled a few times, as if agreeing. "Doctor," it agreed. "Find a mountain for it to live on. Also, Charizard and Tyranitar can train with it," Ash suggested. "Huh? All right," Oak said doubtfully, then hung up. Curious and excited, he grabbed Xiaozhi and took the heavy ball up to a remote, rocky hill behind the Institute. "Come on out. I want to see what kind of Pokémon this is," Oak murmured. A deep roar split the air, and a massive red figure stomped into view. Groudon. Groudon. Oak and Xiaojian were so stunned they nearly fell over. Ash had actually caught Groudon. "It's the legendary ground deity? Incredible," Xiaojian breathed. Groudon surveyed the landscape and seemed satisfied enough with the sparse hill. Professor Oak watched it in awe, but he knew a legendary like Groudon wouldn't allow casual study. He'd have to build trust first. "Hey, Groudon, this mountain will be your home for now. Stay as long as you like." Nearby, Charizard and a group of rock, ground, and fire-type Pokémon, called to the area, felt the impact of Groudon's overwhelming presence and were shaken. Groudon sneered at them, as if dismissing their strength. The assembled Pokémon bristled with a mix of anger and fear, their pride stung at being looked down upon. Charizard in particular, having returned to Charizard Valley and risen to dominance there, felt its competitive spirit flare. It wouldn't stand to be outclassed. Both Charizard and Tyranitar resolved to train harder than ever. Groudon proved reliable and set a brutal training regimen that would transform them. Professor Oak, meanwhile, withdrew to think of ways to cultivate Groudon's trust and earn a chance to study it. Back with Ash, he released the Pokémon he had sent to Professor Oak. "Everyone, come out," Ash called. Meganium barreled forward first, knocking Ash down and snuggling against him. "Long time no see. Meganium, good to see you all. I'm counting on you for the grand festival." Ash's full party: Pikachu, Eevee, Meganium, Noctowl, Beautifully, Jigglypuff, Kirlia, Melodic, Bagon, Combuskin, and Rayquaza. Aside from Bagon, Combuskin, Rayquaza, and Pikachu, the rest were contest entrants slated for the grand festival. Ash noticed Noctowl had already reached the early gym leader tier, and Beautifully had climbed to the peak of the superior tier. They hadn't been idle in the backyard. They'd been training hard. What Ash didn't know was that Groudon's arrival had sparked fierce rivalry among the Pokémon, accelerating their growth tremendously. Because of the festival rules, Ash planned to use Kirlia and Milotic, who were currently the weakest of the bunch, in the first and second rounds, saving stronger Pokémon for later. Afterwards, he reunited with Xiaoyao and their third companion and headed to the park to prepare for the first day of performances. Xiaoyao chose her veteran Beautifly for the first round, a solid choice if she hoped to break into the top 64 among hundreds of coordinators. The park was already filled with contestants training for the festival. "The pressure's huge," Xiaoyao admitted, nervous as she looked at the throng of coordinators. "Don't worry," Ash said. "All the matches on the way here were tense too. Just relax, treat it like any other gorgeous contest. Compete, show your style, clash with the top coordinators, and enjoy it." Xiaoyao felt her fighting spirit reignite. They dove into a day of rigorous special training. By dusk, Xiaoji's group settled into the contestants' dormitory. The highlight of the day wasn't just the rehearsals. The two Combuskin made the biggest strides. In their sparring, Ash's Combuskin broke through to the peak of the superior tier, and Xiaoyao's Combuskin actually evolved, becoming Blaziken, the second gym-level ace in her lineup. Blaziken's strength: Gym Leader, early stage moves, Brave Bird, Fire Punch, Flare Blitz. "This is the dormitory? It's so luxurious," Xiaoyao exclaimed, delighted. Everyone admired the comfortable rooms. At that moment, a pair of slender hands covered Xiaoyao's eyes, and a soft voice asked, "Guess who I am?" To be continued. Chapter 114, The Arrival of Family and Friends. The Grand Festival begins. When Xiaoyao heard the familiar voice, she turned around excitedly. The owner of the hands was none other than Mitsuko, Xiaoyao and Xiaosheng's mother. But when everyone looked back, they discovered it wasn't just Mitsuko who had come. Ash's mother, Delia, was there as well. "Mom," Ash blurted in surprise. Pikachu broke free and darted over to Delia. "Pikachu, long time no see." Delia hugged Pikachu with a smile. "Of course I'm here to cheer for Ash." "You weren't at my league matches before," Ash protested. "How come you came this time?" "How could I miss this? Ash is performing. I had to get photos," Delia said, waving the camera she'd brought. She had heard Ash would be at the Grand Festival and had taken a boat to Slateport City to come early with Mitsuko. "Long time no see, Xiaosheng and Xiaoyao," Mitsuko greeted them warmly. Xiaosheng flung himself into his mother's arms. "Mom's here," Xiaoyao said, delighted. Mitsuko smiled. "Of course I had to come see how impressive you are in person." From behind the two mothers, a head peeked out. Munchlax. "Ah, Munchlax, are you doing well with Dad?" Xiaoyao asked. Munchlax gave a proud little grunt and patted its chest to show it was fine. Ash noticed Munchlax had clearly been well trained by Senri. It had learned new moves, and its strength had reached a mid-elite level. "Where's Dad?" Xiaoyao asked when she realized Senri wasn't there. Mitsuko sighed. "Too many people have booked gym challenges. Your dad couldn't get away." Xiaoyao's shoulders sagged, but Mitsuko reassured her. "Don't worry. He said he'll be cheering for you in front of the TV when it's your turn." That finally lifted Xiaoyao's spirits, and she nodded happily. It was the end of the season. Trainers preparing for league tournaments were pushing hard, and gyms were busier than ever. Their trainer dormitory was a luxurious sea view room. From the window, they could see the vast ocean, an encouraging, calming sight. Xiaoyao felt a little pressure from the rivals she hadn't yet rivaled successfully, but Mitsuko noticed her tension and changed the subject. "Have you all looked over the schedule?" Xiao Gang took out the tournament guide and explained, "This grand festival is split into preliminaries and the main competition. The preliminaries start tomorrow on the charm stage. There, coordinators compete for the gorgeous score, the beauty of their Pokémon and moves. Out of 247 contestants, only the top 64 will advance to the main stage," he added. "Only 64 out of 247? That's tougher than the league," Ash exclaimed. With so many participants, the gorgeous contest had become incredibly competitive. That evening, Ash and the others took the two mothers to stroll through the night market. Stalls sold snacks and grand festival souvenirs. The place was packed. They each had a serving of the most popular fried noodles from Musashi and Kojiro's stall, fragrant and delicious, and the food helped wash Xiaoyao's nerves away. The next day, the grand festival officially opened. Host Vivian announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, here in Slateport City, the Dream Grand Festival for coordinators, the Pokémon Contest Grand Festival, begins." High-level coordinators who have won 5 ribbons in gorgeous contests across regions will start in the preliminary round on the charm stage, she continued. On the charm stage, a moment of brilliance can decide victory. Appearance, use of moves, how the performance ends, and the coordination between Pokémon and coordinator are all judged for a comprehensive score. Of the 247 coordinators, only 64 will advance to the main grand stage. I declare the preliminary round officially open. One by one, the contestants took the stage. The preliminary performances were short. Attracting the audience and showcasing a Pokémon's charm in that limited time was a real challenge. Roselia, Petal Dance. Xiaoshun went first. His veteran Roselia performed an expertly controlled petal dance and scored a steady 95. Cacturne, Seed Machine Gun. Harry followed with his sinister partner Cacturne and earned a solid 84. Robert's Melodic delivered a near-perfect, elegant routine that pushed his score close to full marks. Finally, it was Xiaoyao's turn. "Take the stage, Beautifully," Beautifully fluttered out, shedding shimmering scales as it moved. Mitsuko clapped in admiration. Beautifully's appearance was breathtaking, and its importance to Xiaoyao made the performance even more moving to watch. Xiao Gang and Xiao Sheng gave thumbs up. Xiaoyao's Beautifully executed the silver wind she had practiced so much. It soared toward the light and made clever use of the stage environment, a definite plus in the judges' eyes, and earned a respectable 88. Next came Ash. "Go, Curlia!" Delia cheered and raised her camera, ready to capture every moment. "Curlia, let's put on a fireworks show," Ash called. "Double team, mystical fire, psychic." Curlia split into countless illusory clones, each one summoning a mystical fire. Using psychic, the real Curlia controlled the fireballs into precise formations. At Ash's signal, the fireballs ascended into the sky and burst in a synchronized display, as if a grand fireworks show had been choreographed. Kirlia and Ash bowed together against that luminous backdrop. Delia snapped photo after photo. The judges rewarded the performance with a high score of 98, tying with Robert for the top spot. "You were amazing, Ash." Xiaoyao rushed over to congratulate him as he stepped down, and everyone praised his performance. To be continued. Chapter 115, Mega Melodic amazes the audience. All right, that concludes the appeal stage performances for all contestants. Although the crowd is still buzzing, we're about to announce the top 64. Vivian teased, catching everyone's attention. Which coordinators have made it into the main competition? She gestured to the giant screen. Dong dong dong. The screen began displaying avatars in ranking order. Robert, Ash, Xiaoshun, Xiaoyao, Harry, and others. Ash appeared just behind Robert, tied at the top. If Ash remembered correctly, Robert had been the champion in the original story, which made him Ash's biggest obstacle. Xiaoshun ranked third with a very high score. How about Princess? Xiao Sheng asked eagerly. Pikachu chirped and was the first to spot Xiaoyao's placement. She'd landed 48th and had safely advanced to the main competition. Harry was nearby on the list, also slipping through the preliminaries. Xiaoyao's opponents are strong. Don't be careless, Ash warned, leaning closer. Watch out for Harry. Don't trust his lies. Yes, I understand. Xiaoyao nodded. Harry tried repeatedly to speak with her, but the prepared Xiaoyao brushed him off every time. Frustrated, Harry stormed away. The next morning, the group gathered at the Pokémon Center. Good morning, Nurse Joy, Xiaoyao greeted. Nurse Joy smiled. Good morning, everyone. All your Pokémon have completed their health checks. Thank you, they chorused. Check me from head to toe, too. Xiaogang barreled forward, grabbing Nurse Joy's hand. Spinda leaped out and hugged him tightly. Nurse Joy recoiled. Humans aren't in my professional scope. A gray aura of embarrassment settled over Xiaogang. What? He muttered. Everyone stared speechlessly, while Spinda continued to hug him, oblivious. At the Grand Festival, Vivian took the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, the main stage of the main competition is about to begin. Coordinators who have won 5 ribbons in gorgeous contests across regions and who ranked in the top 64 in the preliminaries will battle here for the title of top coordinator. Only the top 32 of these 64 will advance to round 2. The main competition format followed the gorgeous competition rules. A 3-minute solo performance by a single Pokémon. As befits a grand festival, the judges had increased from 3 to 5. Mr. Contesta, Mr. Sukizo, and 3 Nurse Joys. At the sight of 3 Nurse Joys, Xiaogang wanted to rush forward in excitement, but Xiao Sheng and Spinda held him back. Performances in the first round ran in reverse preliminary order. Because Pokémon used in the preliminaries couldn't be reused, the first coordinator Ash recognized to go on stage was Harry with his Banette. Harry's affinity for sinister ghost and dark-type Pokémon showed. He set up Will-O-Wisp to bathe Banette in eerie flames, then struck it with a thunderbolt. Bathed in light, Banette curved its mouth into a feral smile. It's smiling! What a sinister, explosive routine! Vivian exclaimed. Harry earned an impressive 89 points. Next was Xiaoyao. Delcatty, take the stage. Meow! Delcatty sprang forward. For the main contest, Xiaoyao chose Delcatty, one of the most reliable performers after Beautifly. Delcatty, use assist! Xiaoyao called. A flame vortex appeared in the sky, the result of assist borrowing a move from a partner's repertoire. Delcatty's paw touched the vortex. Delcatty, use blizzard, Xiaoyao quickly commanded. The flame funnel froze into shimmering ice. Delcatty leaped gracefully and shattered it with a fake out, sending crystals scattering like confetti. Delcatty, use attract. The cat blinked its large, enchanting eyes. A ring of hearts bloomed around it. Double slap. Delcatty's slaps hit each heart precisely, turning them into pink light and bathing Delcatty in a warm glow. What a graceful, adorable little cat, Vivian praised. The judges rewarded the routine with a high score of 93. Backstage, Ash found Xiaoyao and smiled. Well done. Hey, thank you, Ash, Xiaoyao beamed. Xiaoshun watched them with an exasperated sigh. As the round continued, few performers broke the 90 mark. Most scores hovered around 80. Finally came the finale, the top 3 from the preliminaries, Xiaoshun, Ash, and Robert. Xiaoshun went first, giving it everything with his masquerade. It opened with hidden power, letting its feelers glow in brilliant hues, and finished with a stunning combination of bubble and silver wind, a perfect visual feast. He earned the first perfect score of the competition. Then it was Ash's turn. I choose you, Melodic. Surf. A titanic wave surged beneath the appearing Melodic. The elegant Pokémon stood atop the wave and let out a soulful call. Water Pulse. Launch. Water orbs rose into the air and collided, scattering into glistening droplets. The real performance begins now. Let's show our bond. Mega Evolution. Ash activated his Mega Ring. Everyone noticed a beaded necklace around Melodic's neck. The Mega Stone and Keystone connected. Melodic began to Mega Evolve. Its scales grew more radiant. Ribbons of colorful, hair-like fins unfurled along its sides, and vast feather-like wings bloomed from its back. Mega Melodic crowned the crest of the giant wave. The audience erupted in applause. On the broadcast overlay, data flashed. Mega Melodic type Water Fairy ability. Pixelate converts normal type moves into fairy type. Rank Elite mid-stage offstage. Robert stared in disbelief. Mega Evolution? Xiaozhi was stunned, but Melodic wasn't on the list of announced Mega Evolutions. Xiao Gang remembered having checked the Mega Evolution data after Ash's earlier surprise. Melodic had not been listed. The realization hit. Ash had just shown the first Mega Melodic. How beautiful. I have to take pictures. Delia snapped photos nonstop. Wallace, watching the grand festival as always, straightened in his chair. He pulled out his phone. Steven, do you have a Melodic Megastone among the fossils you're digging up? Get lost, came Steven's dry reply. No, only a Metagross Megastone. And Melodic doesn't even have a Megastone, does it? No, come look. Someone just used Mega Melodic in the gorgeous competition, Wallace insisted. I'll be right there, Steven said, hanging up. Wallace's eyes gleamed. Ash, I need to see him. Wallace hurried toward the festival. Across regions at the Platane Research Institute in Kalos, Sophie shouted, Doctor, look at the grand festival. Dr. Platane glanced at the screen. What is it? Melodic Mega Evolved, Sophie pointed excitedly. Dr. Platane's eyes widened. The discovery of a new Mega Evolution had scientific implications. Professor Oak, also watching, chuckled and nudged Xiaojian, who quietly moved away from the exuberant elder. Back on stage, Vivian tried to explain matter-of-factly. According to our information, Ash is using a battle system from Kalos, Mega Evolution. Clearly, she hadn't grasped the magnitude of what the audience was witnessing. Mega Melodic swam through the air with a melodious, disarming voice that matched the glittering backdrop of water droplets. It followed with Psybeam, and the surging wave crystallized into an ice arch that shattered spectacularly as Mega Melodic landed with poise. After the performance, Melodic reverted from its mega form and returned to Ash's side. The judges recognized the spectacle with the second perfect score of the competition. Finally, Robert took the stage. Because he had used his ace Melodic in the preliminaries, he couldn't reach a perfect score now, but his routine still placed just below Ash and Xiao Shun. To be continued. Chapter 116, Fierce Battle. Gorgeous 5 minutes in double battle mode. Now, it's time to announce the results. The 32 coordinators who passed the first screening and advanced to the gorgeous battles of the second screening are, congratulations. Ash, Xiao Shun, Robert, Xiao Yao, and Harry were all on that list. As I thought, Ash and Princess both advanced, Xiao Sheng said with a satisfied grin, earning a sharp look from Ash. If Ash's 100 points and Xiao Yao's 93 could be left out, that would be absurd. Both mothers cheered for Ash and Xiao Yao from the stands. The second screening's gorgeous battles were different from the one-on-one singles. This was a double battle limited to 5 minutes, putting an even greater emphasis on a coordinator's teamwork and spectacle. Combination moves were easier to perform, and the stage promised dazzling routines. Next up, contestant Xiao Yao versus contestant Harry, the announcer called. Harry, who had been nursing a grudge since the Plugga conference, sent out Cacturn and Banette, the same partners he'd used before. Xiao Yao replied with a sky and land pairing, beautifully in Bulbasaur. In the end, Xiao Yao combined Silver Wind and Razor Leaf to beat Harry and move on to the top 16. Ash, meanwhile, easily won his match using Beautifly and Curlia. The shiny Beautifly's appearance caused an uproar in the audience. In the second round, none of the favorites met each other. Xiao Yao defeated her opponent with Melodic and Swablu, while Ash used Jigglypuff and Melodic to advance both into the top 8. Xiao Yao, your opponent for the third round has been decided, Mitsuko told her. I know, Xiao Shun, Xiao Yao said firmly. He had been her biggest rival since her debut. This was the match they'd both been imagining from the day they first met. Ash and Robert still faced random opponents, and Ash finished his match quickly, then went to join the others and cheer for Xiao Yao. The next match in the third round, Xiao Shun versus Xiao Yao, Vivian announced. Blaziken, Delcatty, take the stage. Xiao Yao called, sending out her strongest combination to show how seriously she took the match. Blaziken, it evolved, Xiao Shun exclaimed when he saw the final evolution Pokémon on the field. He answered with Roselia and Flygon. Flygon, an imposing dragon type, was clearly his hidden ace. I've raised Flygon for this moment. Its debut is against you, Xiao Shun said, determined. So am I. I'll give it everything, Xiao Yao replied, fired up. Vivian began the 5-minute countdown. Ash watched the pair analyze each other's teams at a glance. Both of Xiao Shun's Pokémon were at the gym leader early stage. Although Flygon was a dragon-type powerhouse, it would be especially vulnerable to Delcatty's Blizzard. Xiao Yao had an advantage on paper. Roselia, use Petal Dance. Xiao Shun opened, showering the field in swirling pink petals. Flygon, hidden among the petals, Flygon streaked toward Blaziken and Delcatty, a fast opening strike. A stunning Petal Dance to start, Xiao Shun's team going for an aggressive opening. Vivian narrated, Delcatty Blizzard, Xiao Yao countered calmly. Delcatty unleashed a freezing blast that shattered the petals. Flygon, however, flew out of the spray and avoided being pinned down, sidestepping the worst of the blizzard's effect. You can't run from this. Blaziken, bounce, then flame kick, Xiao Yao ordered, pressing the attack. Blaziken leaped high and rained a descending flame kick down on Flygon, slamming it back to the ground. Xiao Yao turns the tables with a bounce and flame kick combination, an excellent counterattack, Vivian called. Xiao Shun's score immediately dipped. He hadn't expected Xiao Yao to respond so cleanly. Gritting his teeth, he barked, Flygon, Flamethrower, Roselia, Solar Beam. Flygon answered with a pillar of flame, and Roselia gathered sunlight into a searing solar beam. We're not afraid of fire. Blaziken, Flare Blitz, Xiao Yao shouted, going all out. Blaziken charged through the opposing flames and slammed into Roselia, its attack burning even hotter as fire met fire. Roselia took heavy damage, and Xiao Shun's score plunged. That was incredible. Blaziken took the double flame attack and with unbelievable resolve struck Roselia back. So cool. Even Ash couldn't help giving Blaziken a thumbs up. Xiao Shun was running out of options. Roselia was badly hurt and couldn't fight at full strength. Blaziken, Flame Vortex to the right. Delcatty, Blizzard to the left. Xiao Yao pressed from both sides, launching a dual assault of fire and ice. Flygon, raise a sandstorm. Roselia, get on Flygon and fly into the sky, Xiao Shun ordered. Flygon kicked up wind and sand, trying to blunt the attacks, and caught Roselia to fly them both out of the pincer strike. That aerial escape stalled Xiao Yao's momentum and nudged the judges' scores back toward balance. Flying's a problem. We need to keep it grounded, Xiao Yao said, frowning. Delcatty, assist, she called. The audience leaned forward. Assist would pick a random move, and everyone wondered what it would be. Delcatty's assist produced Vine Whip, the exact move Xiao Yao wanted. The Vine Whip lashed up at Flygon, but it wasn't long enough. Flygon slipped out of range. A spark in Xiao Yao's eyes told everyone she'd thought of something. Blaziken, bounce! Use Vine Whip to power a second bounce. Blaziken bounced again, using the Vine Whip's momentum to extend the second leap. Excellent. Blaziken, Brave Bird, Delcatty, Blizzard. Engulfed in an aura like a giant bird, Blaziken's assault combined with Delcatty's Blizzard into the impression of a massive ice-winged attack charging down on Flygon. Roselia, Magical Leaf, Flygon, Steel Wing. With less than 30 seconds left, Xiao Shun made a desperate counterstrike. Roselia sent a flurry of magical leaves while Flygon struck with its steel-hard wings. The two moves collided with the falling Icebird assault in a chaotic final exchange. Bang! Time ran out. The team advancing to the top 4 is Xiao Yao's, Vivian announced. The scoreboard flashed Xiao Yao's clear advantage. She had won decisively and moved on to the semifinals. The audience erupted into cheers. To be continued. Chapter 117, Semifinals. Xiao Yao vs. Ash. I won. I actually beat Xiao Shun. Xiaoyao practically bounced off the stage and went straight to find Ash, her excitement crackling like electricity. In that match, she'd given everything, 200% focus, seizing every opening and hitting several flashes of inspiration. That was how she had beaten Xiaoshun. Ash smiled and ruffled her hair. "You did great, Xiaoyao." "Hey," Xiaoyao beamed back, silently grateful. "Thanks, Ash." "Princess, the pairings are out." Xiaosheng ran over, breathless and a little discouraged. "Princess, it's a civil war this time. You're up against Ash." "What? Me and Ash?" Xiaoyao faltered, then squared her shoulders. Ash's face went serious. "Xiaoyao, do your best." "Yes," Xiaoyao answered. "Semifinals, second round. Ash versus Xiaoyao. Begin." "Go for it, Princess." "Ash," the crowd shouted. Pikachu and Eevee chimed their cries from the audience, and people cheered for both sides. "It's decided. Meganium and Noctowl." Ash tossed his Pokeballs without hesitation. Xiaoyao calmed herself and sent out her strongest pair. Blaziken, Delcatty, take the stage. These were her reliable partners. Blaziken especially had twice made it to the finals in previous gorgeous competitions before being beaten by the man everyone remembered. Now it was their turn to shine again. Blaziken, Flame Vortex. Delcatty, use Assist. Xiaoyao commanded. By luck and timing, Delcatty's assist locked onto Blaziken's Flame Vortex. Two whirling pillars of flame merged and surged at Meganium and Noctowl. Ash grinned. Use the combination we practiced. Meganium, Petal Dance. Noctowl, Confusion, Combine, Kaleidoscope Sword. Under the influence of confusion, Meganium's Petal Dance scattered into countless razor-like petals that formed into sword-shaped barrages. They met the double flame vortex head-on, shredding the flames. The remaining petal swords struck back at Blaziken and Delcatty, dealing damage. "Blaziken, Delcatty, are you okay?" Xiaoyao called, anxious. "Xiamo!" Meow. The two Pokemon shook their heads to say they were fine, but the judge's score began to slip. The kaleidoscope sword made of petals is incredible, sharp enough to slice through the flames, and still beautiful, Vivian exclaimed in the commentary box. Ash wasted no time. "Noctowl, brave bird, Meganium, cover us with radiance." Noctowl launched, wings blazing white as it charged forward. Meganium let loose a brilliant, shimmering aura that swelled into the outline of a radiant giant bird. The light was dazzling, so brilliant it temporarily blinded Xiaoyao, and the display alone cost her precious points. Xiaoyao wouldn't give up. "Blaziken, surround yourself with Flame Vortex. Delcatty, wait for my signal. Use Attract when you hear the collision." As Noctowl slammed into the Flame Vortex, Delcatty's Attract activated, charming Noctowl and halting its attack. "Now, Flame Kick!" Xiaoyao seized the opening. Blaziken struck with a powerful Flame Kick that sent Noctowl skidding back toward Ash. Xiaoyao's trust in her Pokemon turned the tide and completed a perfect comeback. Vivian crowed, and for a moment Ash's score dipped. Ash wasn't surprised. "Not bad, Xiaoyao." He hadn't expected Delcatty to be so pivotal, yet Delcatty had seized the chance. "But that's not enough," Ash snapped. "Noctowl, break free. Meganium, Sunny Day. Noctowl, Future Sight." Light orbs rose together as Sunny Day brightened the arena and Future Sight settled ominously above. Ash was setting up a major combination. "Blaziken, Flamethrower. Delcatty, Blizzard." Xiaoyao fired back, desperate. Ash's voice was cool. "You're getting flustered, Xiaoyao. Meganium, Frenzy Plant. Noctowl, Strike." Meganium stamped and massive vines thrashed up from the stage, disrupting the flames and the blizzard. Noctowl, nimble as ever, weaved through the vines and charged straight for Blaziken and Delcatty. Then it sang a soft, lulling note. "Oh no, don't look," someone cried, but it was already too late. Blaziken and Delcatty succumbed to hypnosis and fell asleep. Meganium, Solar Beam on Delcatty. Noctowl, Steel Wing on Delcatty, Ash ordered. Both attacks focused on Delcatty. In its sleeping state, it could not defend and quickly fainted under the blows. At the same time, the Future Sight Ash had set earlier descended upon Blaziken. "Xiamo!" Blaziken's cry was cut short as it, too, collapsed. Xiaoyao's score hit 0. Ash advanced to the finals. "Ah, so I lost after all." Xiaoyao exhaled, not surprised that she'd been outmatched, but a little disappointed at how swiftly it had happened. "You both did great. Blaziken, Delcatty, come back and rest," she said as she recalled her partners. Still, Xiaoyao had little regret. For a newcomer to reach the semifinals at the Grand Festival was a clear sign of talent, and she'd left a strong impression. She would train harder and aim to be a top coordinator at the next Grand Festival. Ash's opponent in the finals was the handsome blonde Robert. The two had first met in the Slateport City Tournament final. Now, after all this time, they faced one another again in the Grand Festival final in Slateport City. In a private booth, a man dressed with quiet elegance watched Ash's victory with interest. "Ash is strong," he murmured. Robert might have met his equal. "Master Wallace, will you really be judging the finals personally?" a staff member asked nervously. The man was none other than Wallace, the gorgeous master and Hoenn champion. Holding both titles kept him busy, and he rarely attended regular grand festivals, appearing mostly at the Wallace Cup he hosted. "That's right. Make the arrangements," Wallace replied. If he was here, he wanted to see Ash in person. Stephen and Xiaozhi had praised Ash highly. Now he wanted to judge him himself. "Yes, sir." Xiaoyao stood up for a moment before Ash returned to the stage. "Ash, do your best. Bring the champion title back." "Don't worry," Ash said with a smile. "Ladies and gentlemen," Vivian's voice filled the arena. "The Pokemon Contest Grand Festival has reached its final stage, the finals. Aren't you all excited?" A roar of cheers answered her. "I'm sure everyone has noticed that a judge in the center seat, Nurse Joy, is missing." A murmur went through the crowd. "That's right. Where is she? Maybe she's late. Do you think something happened to Nurse Joy?" Xiao Gang leapt to his feet, already half convinced he needed to rescue her. Xiao Sheng rolled his eyes and yanked him down. "Seriously, Xiao Gang, she's not in danger. If she were, Vivian wouldn't be so calm. Sit down." Pikachu, cradled in Delia's arms, nodded solemnly. The two mothers laughed, and Mitsuko teased, "Look at Xiao Sheng. Look at Xiao Sheng. He's all grown up." Vivian smiled and put the crowd at ease. "All right then, let's welcome Master Wallace to the stage." To be continued. Chapter 118, Pinnacle Showdown, Top Coordinator. Next, please welcome Master Makuri to the stage. All the spotlights swung to the center as Wallace, resplendent in his ceremonial cloak, stepped into the light. "Hello, everyone." Wallace tossed off his cape with a flourish. "I am Wallace, the master of the gorgeous contest." The crowd went wild. Fans of the gorgeous contest, young and old, male and female, cheered in unison. "Wallace! Wallace! Wallace! Oh my gosh! Master Makuri is here in person for the finals." Xiaoyao squealed. Only Ash knew why Wallace had shown up. He was almost certainly here on his behalf for Melodic. "Master Makuri will serve as the final judge for this final," the announcer added. The audience couldn't believe they were seeing Wallace in person at the Grand Festival. The ticket had paid for itself a dozen times over. Even when Wallace took his seat, the Nurse Joy next to him blushed. Xiao Gang felt the urge to grin, but kept it in check. He was being watched intently by one person and one Pokemon. "All right, both contestants are in position. Let's look forward to the performances from Xiaozhi and Robert," Vivian announced as Ash and Robert took opposite sides of the stage. "Ash, long time no see. I've been looking forward to facing you again," Robert called, laughing. "Go Melodic, go Claydol." "Same here, Mr. Robert," Ash replied, tossing out two Pokeballs. "It's you two, Eevee, Jigglypuff." "Eevee, Pudding." The fluffy Eevee and the pink microphone-wielding Jigglypuff bounded onto the stage. Jigglypuff waved happily at the crowd. Melodic stayed toward the rear of Robert's side, and Claydol took the mid-stage. As befits the final boss of the contest, their levels towered over almost every other competitor, except Ash's. Still, in a gorgeous contest, top trainers knew a single level rarely decided the outcome. It was impossible to finish an opponent in a 5-minute routine. "Jigglypuff, start with disarming voice. Say hello to the audience." Ash opened the performance. Jigglypuff sang sweetly into her microphone. "Calm as ever," Robert answered. "Melodic, set up safeguard." Melodic formed a protective dome around herself and Claydol. Not to be outdone, Claydol launched an immediate counter-move. "Claydol, Hyper Beam!" Robert's gentle voice delivered a harsh command. Claydol turned into a cannon and fired. "Jigglypuff, float over them. Eevee, double team," Ash ordered. Eevee scattered into multiple illusory copies while Jigglypuff puffed her cheeks and rose like a balloon. The audience roared, "Oh my god, Jigglypuff is really flying!" and Vivian's score meter for Robert started to slip. "Eevee, rapid-fire Shadow Ball," Ash called. Dark orbs formed and streaked toward Claydol. "Claydol, Sandstorm, Melodic, Twister," Robert countered. A swirling sandstorm mixed with Melodic's Twister shattered the Shadow Balls before they could hit home. Ash's score dipped. Claydol, Confusion, Melodic, Twister. Robert pressed the assault. Claydol's psychic pressure and Melodic's whirl combined to keep Ash's team on the defensive. Jigglypuff, ride the Twister. Eevee, nasty plot, Ash shouted. Jigglypuff surfed the Twister like a spinning slide, while Eevee focused internally, boosting its power despite Claydol's confusion. Melodic, dodge, quick, Robert warned as Jigglypuff closed in. Too late, Jigglypuff double slap. Jigglypuff unleashed a flurry of slaps. The final hit sent Melodic tumbling. Eevee, quick attack, then Iron Tail, Ash ordered. Eevee vanished and reappeared at Claydol's side in a lightning-fast strike, then slammed it away with an iron-hard tail. Although this was a gorgeous contest, the battle had the intensity of a gym match. Ash didn't hesitate. Melodic, Claydol, are you both okay? Can you still keep going? Both of Robert's Pokémon staggered to their feet, battered but standing. Ash raised his hand and called, Pink Starfall. Eevee's tail summoned a barrage of Swift, and Jigglypuff released a dazzling gleam. The Swift took on a rosy glow, turning into a pink star-strewn cascade that engulfed the two opposing Pokémon as they tried to steady themselves. Ding! Robert's score hit 0. The match is over. The winner is Xiaozhi, Vivian declared. The crowd erupted. Ash is the champion, Xiaoyao shouted, leaping for joy. Robert merely smiled, accepted the result with grace, and bowed to his rival before leaving the stage. The gorgeous performances at the Grand Festival have truly captured our hearts, Vivian continued, and now please welcome Master Makuri to present the ribbon trophy to the winner, Xiaozhi. Wallace stepped forward and handed Ash the ribbon trophy. Congratulations, he said. Thank you, Ash said, hoisting the trophy. Eevee and Jigglypuff waved to the audience beside him. Ding, obtained the Grand Festival champion, reward 50,000 points. Ding, obtained the title top coordinator, reward Rainbow Wing. Ash, you were amazing. Xiaoyao bounced up to him as he came off the stage. Ash, juggling trophy and friend, grinned awkwardly as he carried her in one arm. The two mothers nearby smiled fondly. Mitsuko inspected Ash approvingly and gave a delicate cough. Xiaoyao suddenly remembered her mother was there and blushed, slipping out of Ash's arms. Ash scratched the back of his head, a little embarrassed. Oh, right. I'll take you to see Mr. Wallace, he said, remembering the note Wallace had discreetly slipped him during the award ceremony. Master Wallace, really? Xiaoyao hardly cared about the awkwardness. Her eyes sparkled as she hurried in front of Ash, nearly nose to nose with him. Ash felt a warmth flare in his chest but tamped it down quickly. Yes, Mr. Wallace invited me to visit. We'll let you kids go, Delia said. We're going shopping, Mitsuko added. After several days together, Delia and Mitsuko had become fast friends. The two women left arm in arm, and Delia took the trophy with her for safekeeping. The four of them, Ash, Xiaoyao, Mitsuko, and Delia, headed toward the address Wallace had left. To be continued. Chapter 119, Showdown Surface with Hoenn Champion Wallace. Is this the residence of the gorgeous Master Wallace? Miss Xiaoyao exclaimed, staring at the villa in front of her. Ash checked the address on the slip of paper. After confirming it was correct, he nodded. That's the place. Champion Wallace, this is amazing, Xiao Sheng cheered. He's a gorgeous master. He's the Hoenn champion. The Xiaoyao siblings immediately started praising in different directions. Ash stepped forward and knocked on the door. Although Wallace was the Hoenn champion, everyone also knew him as a true gorgeous master. The door opened with a click. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Wallace himself greeted them. Good afternoon, Mr. Wallace. Ash and Xiao Gang bowed politely. The Xiaoyao siblings, however, were already squealing. Ah, champion, can I have your autograph? Me too. Master Wallace, please sign for me. No problem. Come on in. Wallace laughed and ushered them inside. The villa was lavish even for a temporary residence. Miss Xiaoyao couldn't hide her delight. Juice for everyone, is that all right? Wallace asked, producing 5 glasses and handing them out. Thank you, they all said. I watched your contest, Miss Xiaoyao. You did very well for a newcomer, Wallace said encouragingly. Really? Thank you, Champion Wallace. I'll work even harder. Xiaoyao's spirits soared at the praise from a gorgeous master. After some light conversation, Ash got to the point. Mr. Wallace, you invited me here about Mega Melodic, right? Wallace's eyes lit up. Exactly. Do you still have a Milotite? If Ash had the Megastone, he'd be hard to dismiss as a last-place challenger. He could at least put up a real fight. I have it, Ash said. I found it during special training on Wells Island. Melodic reacted to it, so I knew it was for him. He kept the rest vague. Every time Ash finds a megastone, Miss Xiaoyao said enviously. Wallace's mouth twitched. Pick up? Every time? Are megastones that common? Miss Xiaoyao, did you actually see him find one? He asked. Yes, I saw him pick one up in Granite Cave, she replied without thinking. Wallace frowned inwardly. Stephen had been to Granite Cave countless times and never dug up a megastone. If Ash really found one there, the idea of Ash's uncanny luck made Wallace smile despite himself. Since that's the case, how about a battle? He suggested. He wanted to see Ash's strength. Okay, Ash didn't hesitate. Even a surface champion was a champion. Wallace's strength would be real. They went out to Wallace's private beach. The match was one-on-one, with Xiaogang as referee. Wallace tossed his Pokeball without ceremony. Go Milotic, he called. Ash sent out Pikachu. Pikachu, I choose you! Pikachu's cheeks sparked. Miss Xiaoyao couldn't help shouting, Go, Ash's Pikachu! Even though Wallace was her idol, she cheered for Ash. Melodic radiated a champion's calm, and Pikachu looked the smallest under that presence. Pikachu, Thunderbolt! Ash ordered. Pika! Pikachu sent a crackling bolt toward Melodic. Melodic's tail flicked softly, and a twister spiraled up, tearing the Thunderbolt apart and sweeping toward Pikachu. Quick attack! Dodge! Ash called. Pikachu blurred with a flash of white light and slipped out of the twister. Electroweb, then Volt Tackle, Ash continued. Pikachu became a lightning streak, striking from multiple angles. Milotic, Aqua Ring, and Safeguard, Wallace replied. Rainbow water wrapped around Milotic like a shield. As Pikachu struck the barrier, Wallace seized the moment. Dragon Tail! A dragon-typed energy coalesced around Melodic's tail and slammed into Pikachu, sending him hurtling. Milotic, Hydro Pump! Melodic blasted a towering column of water. Pikachu was slammed and fainted. Pikachu is unable to battle. Melodic wins. The winner is Mr. Wallace, Xiaogang announced. Is that the champion's ace? So strong. Pikachu didn't get a chance, Xiaosheng exclaimed. Ash knelt and scooped up Pikachu. Are you all right? Pikachu opened his eyes, shook his head to say he was fine. The gap in strength was plain. Champion versus regular trainer was a huge difference. Ash stood and offered his hand to Wallace. You're really strong, Mr. Wallace. Ash, you have great potential, Wallace said warmly. You've only been traveling a few years and you already have elite Pokémon. Give it a few more years and you might even surpass me. By the way, may I see Mega Melodic? No problem. Ash sent out Melodic and activated Mega Evolution. Wallace eagerly examined Mega Melodic, studying its form and nodding with satisfaction. Glancing at his watch, Wallace sighed. Ah, time's nearly up. I have something I must attend to in Slateport. They stood, said their goodbyes, and left Wallace's villa for the Pokémon Center. That night, alone in his room, Ash remembered the rainbow wing the system had rewarded him. He took it out and it glowed with shifting colors. Far away in Kanto, a great colorful bird seemed to sense the wing and turned toward it. From the shadows, a darker shape slipped away into the night, heading in Ash's direction. Ash, still studying the rainbow wing, only wondered to himself, could the rainbow hero trial be about to begin? Thinking of his death scene in the movie made him shiver. He tucked the wing away carefully. Let nature take its course, he decided. Early the next morning, Ash and the others prepared to leave Slateport for Evergrande City. They said farewell to Miss Xiaoyao's mother, Mitsuko, and to Ash's mother, Dahlia. With about 3 weeks until the league tournament, Dahlia planned to go to Petalburg City with Mitsuko so she wouldn't disturb Ash and the others. She promised they'd cheer him on at the Caillou conference. Dahlia had already mailed Ash's ribbon trophies back to Pallet Town. To register and begin special training as soon as possible, Ash and the group boarded the ship for Evergrande City. To be continued. Chapter 120, Evergrande City, capturing the Murkrow who understands military strategy. The Fengyuan Alliance, Saiyao Conference, was a grand event where trainers who'd collected 8 Hoenn Gym badges clashed, and it was Ash's first real chance to change his fate. Ash was determined to win the championship here in Evergrande City. When he and his friends arrived, however, the tournament was still 2 weeks away, so Xiaoyao suggested they spend the first day sampling Evergrande's specialties. Ash agreed. 1 day off wouldn't hurt, and they could start serious training the next day. I heard there's a ramen shop here called Shura Ken Ramen, Xiaoyao said eagerly as they walked. It's so good it ranks in the top 3 in Hoenn. It looks ordinary, but the broth with their noodles is amazing. How do you know so much about it? Xiaogong asked skeptically. Ta-da! Xiaoyao whipped out a guidebook and pointed to it. Of course, it's in this book. Xiaogong glanced at the title, Becoming a Know-It-All, Fengyuan Alliance Sayao Conference Shops and Restaurants Guide. When did you get that? Xiaosheng muttered. Hehe, I've decided to visit all the shops and restaurants during the conference. Become a Hoenn know-it-all. First stop, the ramen shop, Xiaoyao declared, full of spirit. But as they followed her directions, the street grew quieter and emptier, and the atmosphere turned a little eerie. Princess, is that Siura Ken supposed to be in a place like this? Xiaosheng asked. Xiaoyao carefully compared the surroundings with the guidebook. It's Siura Ken Ramen, all right? These kinds of places can be hidden away like this, a secret famous shop or an owner who likes it discreet. There's nothing here, Xiaogong said. Where would a ramen shop even be? That's weird. The guidebook said it should be around here. Xiaoyao trailed off as the three of them scanned the empty alley. They had no idea they were already surrounded. Dozens of black birds circled above them, Murkrow, and at their center a particularly sharp-looking bird directed the others. Without warning, the flock dove in with a flurry of pecks. Watch out! Pikachu, Thunderbolt, Eevee, Thundershock! Ash shouted. 2 bright flashes streaked out, Pikachu's Thunderbolt and Eevee's Thundershock. The first wave of Murkrow was thrown back, crackling and stunned. The leader only croaked a command, and another wave dove in. More Murkrow, and they're organized, Xiaosheng cried nervously. It's their territory, Xiaogong realized. No wonder it's deserted. Ash stepped forward while the others took cover behind him. Pikachu, Thunderbolt, Eevee, Swift. Another Thunderbolt cut through the sky, and Eevee's Swift scattered the attackers, but the flocks kept coming. After a few waves, Ash closed his eyes and let his aura sweep the area. The pattern became clear. The attacks were coordinated. One Murkrow, larger than the rest and unnaturally crafty in its movements, was directing the others, sending them in rotating assaults. A Murkrow is commanding them, Ash muttered. This one's using tactics, like it studied Sun Tzu. If we take out the ringleader, the rest will fall apart, Ash decided. Pikachu, Encore, beautifully Noctowl, I want you two to stop that Murkrow. As the saying goes, capture the ringleader first. Pikachu unleashed another Thunderbolt to repel a wave, while Noctowl and Beautifully took to the sky to intercept the leader. Noctowl's wide wings and Beautifully's nimble flight boxed the Murkrow in, and together they knocked it from the air. Ash studied the bird. It was bigger than a normal Murkrow, with a calculating gleam in its eye. Ash smiled, reached for a Pokeball and tossed it. Murkrow, let's make this a capture battle. If you win, you fly free. If you lose, you come with me. The Murkrow took in the scene, its scattered troops, the net of Noctowl and Beautifully, and gave a proud caw as if accepting the challenge. Gender, male. Type, dark flying. Ability, prankster. Gives priority to status moves. Strength, advanced. Moves, wing attack, nightshade, sucker punch, perish song. Dynamax, type, dark. Beautifly, I'm counting on you, Ash called. Beautifly and Murkrow locked eyes. Then the Murkrow lifted its voice and sang, a dark, eerie perish song that rippled through the air. Because of its prankster ability, the song came first, and the countdown that accompanies perish song began. Ash's face hardened. They had to end the battle fast. Beautifully, quiver dance, he ordered immediately. Beautifully launched into a beautiful spiraling dance. Its special attack and other stats rose as it readied for a decisive strike. The Murkrow blurred into a black shape and struck with Nightshade, its priority bolstered by Prankster. Fast, precise. Beautifully, use Flash, Ash said calmly. Beautifully erupted in a dazzling burst of light. The flash startled the Murkrow and disrupted its approach. Now, Bug Buzz, finish it, Ash shouted. The supercharged Bug Buzz surged through the Murkrow, blasting it cleanly away and interrupting the perish song's effect. Ash seized the moment and threw the Pokeball. The ball spun, then clicked once, twice. Ding! The red light steadied. Ash had captured the Murkrow. The Pokeball vanished in a flash, and the signal was sent to Professor Oak's lab. The rest of the Murkrow, witnessing their leader's capture, scattered into the sky and fled. Meow, a Meowth strutted into view, wearing tall boots, a cowboy hat, and a red bandana, a striking look. Xiaoyao stared. Meowth? That doesn't look like Team Rocket's Meowth. Ah, am I late? A man's voice called from behind them. To be continued.